with Day and Night.
dayandnight.net.
Carter Subaru wants to buy your car. Carter Subaru will buy your vehicle for top dollar, even if you're not in the market for a new one. And when you are ready to buy a new vehicle, your drive begins with savings at Carter Subaru. Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Their video interview tool makes it easy and effortless to meet with candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Swim your way to a healthier you with an endless pool swim spa from Olympic Hot Tub. During our spring savings event, save up to $9,000 on an endless pools package, free Bluetooth music, and more. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump today again presented a number of past allegations against a Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador as Senator Chris Van Hollen travels back to the U.S. after meeting with him. CBS's Scott McFarland.
You have this broader issue. What becomes of Mr. Abrego Garcia independent of this meeting? The president of El Salvador says he will remain in Salvadoran custody in that prison, and the lawsuits, the legal challenges about getting him back continue to mushroom.
The Supreme Court says it will weigh in on President Trump's birthright citizenship case. Jan Crawford reports the administration's asked the court to limit the ability of lower courts to block a president's order.
What they're doing instead is taking a look at something that is an increasing problem, and that's the issue of injunctions. Essentially, Republican and Democratic administrations have long opposed this idea that one federal judge can set policy for the entire country.
The federal judiciary says more money needs to go towards keeping judges safe. Stacey Lynn has that.
In a letter to Congress, it's asking for more funding to keep the federal courthouses safe at a time when threats have escalated. They call the current funding levels unsustainable, nearly $50 million less than what the courts requested just for security. More than 6 judges handling lawsuits against the Trump administration are already receiving enhanced online security screening. That typically includes scrubbing their personal info from the internet. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
Hamas says it won't accept the latest ceasefire offer for Gaza because it does not include the withdrawal of all Israeli troops. The BBC's Gary O'Donoghue.
This is Hamas formally rejecting the latest Israeli offer on the table, and that involved a 45-day ceasefire in return for the release of 10 of the remaining 59 hostages inside Gaza. Other elements of that deal would have included the release of Palestinian prisoners from Israeli jails and some aid being allowed back into Gaza.
In Jerusalem, the new U.S. ambassador made his first public appearance. Mike Huckabee appeared at the Western Wall, where he inserted a prayer handwritten by President Trump. Pope Francis is not following doctor's orders as he recuperates from double pneumonia. CBS's Chris Livesay tells us he was inside a Rome prison yesterday in an annual tradition.
To add another twist to this story, we've got J.D. Vance, who has arrived in Rome today for Easter weekend. He is, of course, Catholic, and there's been a lot of security helicopters flying over us.
The Pope spent more than 5 weeks in the hospital. This is CBS News.
Steel walk behind, zero turn, and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Another person just arrested in a mass shooting at a Pierce County house party. That story coming up. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk on the Kitsap Peninsula, a crash is blocking a lane on State Route 3 southbound. You're backed up for about a mile north of Poulsbo. Construction on State Route 18 has you pumping brakes from Tiger Mountain to I-90. On southbound I-5 near JBLM, you're backed up from north of Stillicum DuPont Road up to Tillicum. Travel time Tacoma to Olympia is 50 minutes now, 20 longer than typical. Traffic brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop freaking call Beacon.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Heather Bosch.
Keep your hands above your head.
A second suspect has been arrested in that March 29th house party mass shooting in Pierce County.
After an extensive undercover operation, Pierce County deputies and a SWAT team took the 18-year-old man into custody around 10 p.m. Deputy Carly Capetto.
This suspect had not been identified until we were able to gather more evidence and review surveillance cameras and to gather enough information that we had a suspect that was outstanding.
2 young people were killed in that shooting. 4 others were injured. A 17-year-old suspect has already been charged with double murder. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A former wrestling coach at an Auburn middle school is behind bars after allegedly sexting with a 14-year-old. Auburn police spokesman Colby Crossley.
The case was first brought to our attention Friday, April 4th. Our detectives obviously quickly jumped at this. This is something we do not take lightly ever. And after a prompt and thorough investigation, detectives are able to build a case which led to the suspect's arrest.
School officials sent a notice to families saying the 64-year-old suspect is no longer employed at Olympic Middle. He's accused of committing 3 felony sex crimes, including communicating with a minor for sex. If you traveled through SeaTac Airport last week, you may have been exposed to measles. Public health doctors say a Canadian resident was at the airport while contagious April 6th and 7th. The individual also stayed the night at the Comfort Suites next to the Family Fun Center in Tukwila. This is the 5th confirmed case of measles in our state. Governor Bob Ferguson is warning fellow Democrats he might veto their tax-heavy budget proposal.
Governor Ferguson called the $12 billion package of new taxes introduced just Tuesday unsustainable and too risky in light of potential federal funding cuts from the Trump administration. It comes just 10 days before the end of the 105-day session and puts more than a half dozen new tax proposals in jeopardy and raises the possibility of a special session if the Democratic governor and the Democratic leadership that controls the House and Senate can't come to agreement. Federal funds make up more than 28% of the state budget. Matt Markovich, KIRO News Radio.
The Seahawks have signed Drew Lock to a 2-year quarterback deal. Lock spent last season with the New York Giants. He joined Sam Darnold, Sam Howell, and Jaron Hall on the roster.
It's a great situation. We have 4 guys that we really like.
That's General Manager John Snyder. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny skies today with highs around 70. It's 64 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome to the show. Happy Good Friday to everybody out there. I'm Jake Skorheim, sitting alongside Spike O'Neill.
Hey, buddy.
Spike, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, my friend.
A lot of great stuff to get to today. Very exciting times. Beautiful weather, as always, it seems, around here, which
Holiday
is nice.
Holiday weekend. You got the boys at home. I know it's a big day for you guys and your family.
Yep.
Mine as well.
We are a big Easter family.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Looking forward to celebrating. Kids get excited about all the egg hunts and everything.
Oh, it's good. Magic timing.
I don't know how that became associated with Easter, the bunny and the chocolate, but there must be a funny video out there somewhere.
I'm sure, was it Rankin Bass? They did those claymation movies. I'll watch that again. That's historically accurate.
Probably.
Here Comes Peter Cottontail thing.
Right. Yeah. That's those are always good history lessons. We're very excited on Fridays, and it's always a good Friday around here when this guy pops by, which we're going to play some music for you to welcome him in.
Each other and all for one. The 3 brave amigos are we.
Nate, the great Connors joins us now.
Hello, happy Good Friday.
Welcome, Nate.
Buddy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Do you enjoy Fridays with us as much as we enjoy them with you?
Probably better.
Good.
Yeah, because you guys don't look real happy, but I'm over here just giddy.
What are you talking about? Don't look happy.
He's talking about me. He's talking about me. I clearly have. I can't find the joy today. I don't know what it is.
What do you think of this guy? What do you think of it? Doesn't he look?
No, you guys look very happy. What I'm noticing is Spike's chair is incredibly high.
Well, no, it's a high chair. I'm not asking you to comment on the chair.
If you're looking at the video, by the way, if you're not watching the video feed at home, if you're not watching the YouTube video feed of this, not just this show,
this is awesome,
but all the shows, the comedy. First off, why do I have a size 12 face and a size 8 world? First off, what's up with the cameras in here?
I told my wife we were watching the YouTube the other day. We were watching the playback of one of the shows. I was like, oh, there's a funny segment. I want to show it to you. And you guys can all do this at home, actually. It's really great. We have a YouTube channel now where everything is live.
Watch the video with your wife? That's nice of you.
Yep. Yeah. I show her the funny stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, Spike is actually much fitter looking in person. I don't know why it is. This camera.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm not sure.
Okay. By the way, one of the best TV lines of all time. Of all times. Quick sidebar, because we love the sidebar around here.
Do it.
Remember the Friends? Where they're watching the prom video from Monica and Rachel?
Yeah, I know the line.
And it's like, this is when Monica was still a very big woman, a young girl.
Well, that was a joke when she was like...
Right, she was big Monica.
She was big Monica when she was
young. And then she goes,
yeah.
well, the camera adds 10 pounds. And Chandler says coldly, how many cameras were on you? which is one of the greatest lines of all time.
I opened up the show and they asking you to see what you thought of how Spike looks, because I have noticed, I don't know if you've noticed this, but Spike's been getting very fit. His daughter's getting married next week. And he's been dropping the lbs. He's been working out. He's been doing all this stuff. And I think I was going to compliment you, but
thank you. I appreciate that, because my daughter gave me. She wasn't really, putting down the law, but she says, "Dad, in a tuxedo, I want you to be Bruce Wayne, not the Penguin."
There you go.
Right?
Okay.
Which is a backhanded compliment.
I guess that I have the potential to look somewhat like Bruce Wayne in a tuxedo. Sure, I'll take it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I think you're looking
Thanks, buddy.
svelte.
I appreciate that.
Are you feeling better?
Good. You're looking real good.
I think the cameras have adjusted, because now Nate is as tall as the rest of us.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Was that you, Laura? Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
It was weird when I looked at her. I'm like, what is that?
If you guys want the live stream link, if you want to watch on YouTube, you can comment. We jump in there from time to time and comment as well.
And if you do find your way to YouTube today of all days, because you do not want to miss the Skorheim. What are you wearing? Can I read that? Skorheim golf club.
Are you making fun of my shirt?
Yes, the Jake Skorheim Golf Club.
Why do people?
I didn't realize you guys owned a course.
My family owns a golf course.
Yeah. What are you doing slumming with us? I'd be just sitting in the 19th hole.
Well, no, it's a
nice
place. It's a private club. You couldn't be there even if you wanted to.
I could.
Even if I said I work with you.
Even if you said you work with me, we just have a very strict policy. We don't allow
sure
any people named Nate.
I'm a little jealous.
No, I don't have. My family doesn't have a golf course. My brother had a bachelor party and he made a bunch of shirts.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's. But I like the shirt. But you're right. It says my name on it, which is ridiculous. But here's the thing.
You're asking for it.
When I walked into the building today, and like 4 or 5 people were like, "Oh, is that your name? Ha ha ha! Look at your shirt." And then you also,
I noticed.
You're noticing the shirt.
I
don't think it's that bad.
It's not. I make fun.
It is huge. It could be smaller.
That bad. It's just right up there on the shoulder there.
It's just up there. It's giant for everybody to see.
The fact that you guys had those made for a family event, that's lovely. Because
if you want to see on the camera, I'll show on the camera.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty big.
It's pretty. It's big.
It's embarrassing.
Do you have really, really big guys? Because in a much bigger, in a 5X, that wouldn't look so big.
I have some big fellas.
If it's on a bigger shirt, that's
we got some big Norwegians in the Skorheim family. I wish it was. I wish it wasn't there. I do just like the shirt. It feels like a golf season.
It's a great shirt.
But it does say my name, which is slightly embarrassing. But you guys can watch it. You can jump on
the. Yeah, that's a good looking shirt, man. I'd wear it.
All right, I don't need that many compliments. I'm not fishing for compliments. Here's the thing. Have you guys noticed? I want to read you this headline. Cliff Mass. We've talked about him. Anytime he puts out a story on mynorthwest.com, anytime anybody talks to him,
he's the weather guy, right?
1 million clicks.
Yes. Yeah.
Meteorologist, which I don't normally trust, but I do trust him. I believe he's a UW professor, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So he knows his business. He knows what he's talking about. But we're always talking about how they're trying to church up weather words to get people to click on them. Like we had the what was the most
bomb cyclone. Atmospheric river.
We used to call it rain.
Right.
And now it's called the Pineapple Express, remember?
Yeah. Remember that? Yeah.
That was simple.
Listen to this headline on mynorthwest.com. You guys can read about it if you're interested. Cliff Mass. Weekend forecast will return to normal following, quote, extreme no weather day.
Is that today?
Extreme no weather day. Extreme no weather day. What does that even mean? Extreme no weather?
There'll be no atmosphere outside. Can we leave the house?
Are you just going to float up into space? I have no idea.
No oxygen. What does that
doesn't
mean?
make sense to me. I don't understand this.
It's a calm sea.
That's what I'm thinking. Just
and a dead wind.
Yeah, that's what it was yesterday.
But it's just it's clickbait that drives me crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Extreme no weather. Just say we're not going to have much weather. Like, it's beautiful outside.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because I read that earlier today as well, and I read that twice. I was like, what does that mean?
What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you. I looked into it further. I can read this to you.
Ooh.
He says, this is one of the clearest days that we've had in memory. No clouds in the sky. It's perfectly blue. So today is the extreme in terms of no weather. But unfortunately, we do have some weak systems coming in over the weekend, which you guys have probably seen. We're going to have some rain over the weekend. And then back to the nice weather. I think like close to 70 on Monday. But yeah, extreme no weather. I just thought.
So no weather means no clouds, no wind.
No wind, no clouds, no breeze.
So just like they try to trick us into clicking on stories about rain by calling it an atmospheric river, extreme no weather just means it's nice weather.
There we go.
That's like saying, the headline above the fold on the New York Times, no news.
Yes.
I got to know more.
There's no news.
I got to know more about no news.
There's
What
no
do you
news
mean,
at all?
No news. Nothing happened? Is everything closed? Is the stock market closed? Is the government closed?
Let me ask you guys this. This is interesting audio. We've talked about this a few times, Nate, when you've been on for Three Amigos segments, and it's something that the audience cares deeply about. I care deeply about it because I used to be in the NBA. Adam Silver, you knew that. You knew.
Yeah, he worked for the Sonics.
I worked for the Sonics.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
In the NBA. I don't know if you knew that.
I thought you meant you played.
No, they were in the. Well, you played. You threw balls to people.
I did play. I was on the court and I returned balls. I was mostly an assist guy.
Okay.
Because I would.
You had hundreds of assists a night.
I had hundreds a night. Yeah.
You did. That's amazing.
Thousands in one season. Actually, I'm surprised my stats are not more famously and well known.
We'll work on that.
Yes, I was a ball boy for 4 years.
That's right. That's right.
In fact, side story real fast. I was absent from the show yesterday because I was on my son's field trip. I volunteered to chaperone. And we went down here to Mohi, which is right just down the street from the station.
That's beautiful. If you haven't been to Mohi,
Museum of History and Industry.
Yeah, it is an incredible
Is that on
experience.
South Lake Union? Is that where? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's right on the water there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. We were the only people in the building.
Oh, nice.
And the school field trip?
The school field trip.
Oh, nice.
So we had like full run of the place. Kids are running around. But they have the 1979 Sonics trophy, championship trophy, in there, which was really sweet. And so I saw that. I got all excited thinking about, the Sonics could come back to Seattle. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah.
And then, and this is great, Adam Silver was on the Pat McAfee show on ESPN yesterday, and he said this, and I want to get your guys' take on this. Do you guys think this means that the Sonics are coming back? Listen here.
We're looking hard at it. We're sort of modeling it, for lack of better terms, in the league office. Look, there's no doubt there's been interest in Las Vegas. Seattle, I've been very public about it, that it was a market that was fantastic for the league, that we left at the time for understandable reasons, but there's no doubt that there continues to be enormous passion in that market for the NBA.
So it sounds like they're taking it quite seriously. Or do you think he's just, I don't know,
I think he's blowing smoke.
Do you really?
Doesn't it? Do you recall? It seems like maybe just 3 weeks ago or so, he said, "Sorry to put it to you,
burst
Seattle,
your bubble,
but thank you, burst your bubble, Seattle. But it's not going to happen anytime soon."
That's what I thought he was
Didn't he say
saying.
that?
No, I wasn't just you or you. It was all of us heard the exact same thing about how you got to convince the owners to cut the pie 32 ways instead of 30 ways. But since then, they've got a new collective bargaining agreement signed with the players. They've got their new TV contract signed with the owners.
Mm-hmm.
Now they can come to these guys with a much bigger pie and try to show them how expansion into these two markets.
Is that what's happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I think the commissioner Silver chooses his words very carefully.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you go on a show like a nationally syndicated Pat McAfee show, and you say things like, "We're looking at these two." You don't kick these cities again, rattle their chains again.
That's what it feels like. I feel like Seattle's always getting kicked, and we're always kind of just we're the city that they dangle in front of other teams.
We're the cautionary tale of moving.
Yeah.
And when the commissioner said, I don't know if can you play that quote again, because he said something in there that just it rubbed me the wrong. It just got my claw.
I had the same thing. I was just going to replay that. The thing he said right at the very end, for understandable reasons.
Yeah.
That we left at the time for understandable reasons.
Baloney.
The understandable reason was you wanted to establish the owner's ability to do whatever the hell they wanted at any time. We became the free agency for franchises. We were the guys that we were the example.
Totally.
Oklahoma City instead of Seattle. Are you nuts? Are you kidding?
What does he mean by that? What does he mean by that? Understandable at the time because Howard Schultz didn't want to sell to a local guy.
Yeah, and there was no support for the team.
Left at the time for understandable reasons, but there's no doubt that there continues to be enormous passion in that market for the NBA.
It really bugs me. Yeah. I don't like that I feel like they are trying to rewrite history.
They are. They're gaslighting the whole city. There were no understandable reasons if you were a Sonic fan.
If
you were an NBA fan.
Didn't Steve Ballmer try to buy the team off of Schultz? I'm trying to remember. I think we should look this up, but didn't he try to buy it?
Well, Ballmer bought the Clippers.
Well, I know, but didn't he buy the Clippers after?
Yes,
the Sonics left?
It was after. If I'm not mistaken, I think
so he had the money. He's clearly has an interest in owning an NBA team. I don't know why Schultz wanted to sell it to Oklahoma. They could have kept it here, and we'd still have a Sonics team here.
Well, Clay Bennett promised this team, classic team's not going anywhere.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. That was.
No, I remember that.
Come on.
But think about how crazy. This was. The Sonics have one of the best players in NBA history. They had Kevin Durant
at the time,
for his rookie season, and then gone, and then the team's gone. You're on the precipice of greatness, the Sonics, and for years we had been in this weird area because I was there right before Kevin Durant got there. Literally, my last season in the NBA was right before Kevin Durant came to play for the Sonics, and everyone was so jacked and so excited because of this sky's the limit now. This guy's a once in a generation talent, and then he gets to go play in Oklahoma, which is ridiculous. And the team was looking pretty good.
Do you remember when the team left and they had the clearance sale at the Sonics team store?
Oh yeah, that thing emptied out.
I was down there that morning.
Were you really?
Oh yeah, I've got an NBA official rookie Kevin Durant jersey. Still to this day.
Sure. Hold on to it.
Do you remember my OK jersey?
Oh yeah.
I bought a blank, and since I know the guy who does jerseys in town, for Seattle Athletic Lettering, makes every jersey for every team in this town.
Sweet.
Made me an official Sonics jersey, and I can't say what it says on the back, but it's a message.
Does it have an F in it?
It does, and it ends with an OK for Oklahoma.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people share that message.
Yeah, and for him to try to say for understandable reasons. Quit jerking our chain.
Yeah, quit jerking
Shut up. Get the vote. Get us a team. Get it here now.
Hey, Jake, how does one get to be the ball boy for the Sonics?
Well, you have to have, like any NBA player,
great
you
grades.
have to have really great skills. And I was a high draft pick.
Okay.
They wanted me badly, which is why they paid me minimum wage.
Okay.
The truth is, I had a friend who worked for the Sonics at the time in their graphic design department, and he knew that who had started as a ball boy and worked his way up, and because they do a lot of hiring from inside there. Mm-hmm. And so he calls me up one day, and I'm working. I'll never forget it because it was changed my life. It was an unbelievable job. I'm working at I was up in Snohomish area working at a full service gas station. That was like one of my first jobs. And I'm wearing, the full outfit, and I'm running out there with the rag and wiping down, like, hey, man, what can I change your oil?
Oil, you bet, yeah.
All that stuff.
Check your tires.
And he calls me up. Yeah, totally. Let me fill those tires up. And he calls me up and he goes, hey, are you busy tonight? And I was like, yeah, I'm working. And he goes, if you can get out of it, he goes, I think I can get you a job working for the Sonics. And I was a huge Sonics fan.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, no way. And so I somehow managed to get somebody to cover for the rest of my shift. And I drive down to Seattle, and they were having like a practice, but somebody fell out and they needed a guy. And he's like, yeah, if it goes well tonight, then I'll hire you for the season.
Yeah.
And I'm walking around there. There's like Gary Payton and all these guys that you've been watching your entire life, and now they're 2 feet away.
Wow.
And I'm supposed to be rebounding the balls, and it was the start of one of the funnest jobs I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, sure.
And there's like kind of this funny camaraderie of guys who have done that job, because I still know a bunch of those guys, and we're all grown-ups now, and we look back, and every single one of us now, even though we're 20 years removed from the job, every single one of us looks back, and we're like, did we have the sweetest job you could have in life at 16?
Yeah.
We should see if George Clooney can make a movie about this.
About Jake as a ball boy?
All the former ball boys. The boys with the balls, we'll call it.
Okay.
The boys with the balls.
Right?
Yeah.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah.
It's not in the gutter.
No, you're totally right.
Right?
Yeah.
Come on, Clooney. Wait, you got a movie about rowing.
Boys with balls.
Yeah. Crew.
You said boys with balls? Is that what his name?
Boys with the balls.
Boys with the balls.
With the balls.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
That's really nice. It could be his follow-up to Boys in the Boat.
Yes.
Boys with the balls.
Hollywood loves a sequel.
They do love a sequel. And it's just, and I'll be honest, it's just as inspiring a story, I think, as The Boys in the Boat.
When you give young men the opportunity to see success up close and personal, and see the work that goes into success,
that really is amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, we make fun, but your life is changed. Like you said, you're a different guy because you got to do this.
I will say it did actually change because I did that job. When you are in close proximity to success like that,
and the workload that it takes.
When you see people who are like, so while I was there, they traded for Ray Allen. They had that kind of blockbuster trade where they sent away Peyton and they brought in Ray Allen. Ray Allen's one of the best shooters in NBA history.
Yes.
And I got to sit there every single game and rebound for him and watch him shoot shot after shot after shot. And you know how he got that good is practice.
Thanks to you.
Thanks to me.
Feeding that ball.
Could he have been as good without me?
Doubt it. Just a gut feeling.
I mean, that's Nate's words.
Right.
I didn't say it.
No,
so when you're passing it to him, is it a chest-to-chest or a bounce pass?
Listen, I can do both.
Because you have to deliver both.
Wow.
Ray's got to be ready for either of those passes, and Nate's the guy that made sure when the game was on the line, Ray sends that shot up. It swishes through from three, and he looks over at young Jake Skorheim and says,
"The ball boy quickly becoming a ball man."
Who made this happen? Boys with the balls.
The Boys with the Balls. In theaters next summer.
I can't wait.
You're totally right. That's a great idea. I'm going to call George and ask him about it.
There you go.
All right. We got a lot more coming up. Nate's going to hang out with us for a few more minutes. You guys want to talk about sperm racing next? Let's.
Next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's. Yeah, next. We'll talk about it. Stick around.
I meant next topic.
This hour is brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino.
Hartley Wilcox here from Wilcox Family Farms. A question we get asked a lot this time of year is, how do the hens stay warm when it's so cold out? Of course, we have nice barns to protect them from the rain, wind, and snow. But also, their feathers are like a down jacket, and if they need additional warmth, they will often snuggle together. And for those very cold days, we have heaters to keep them comfortable and happily laying eggs. Wilcox is committed to organic, humane practices that keep our hens healthy and help preserve the land. When you choose food from local family farmers like Wilcox, you support the local economy with jobs and promote environmental sustainability, making it possible for our family to keep on producing great eggs for another 100 years. Pick up Wilcox eggs at Costco, Marlene's, and Hagen's. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat, pre-peeled, hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Need a new roof, but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
With everything going on these days, it's more important than ever to buy your new car from a dealership you trust. For me, that's Carter Subaru. This is Ursula Royteen. At Carter Subaru, your drive begins with savings. Now get the 2025 Crosstrek with 3.9% APR for 48 months. Shop with the Carter Subaru Advantage and enjoy valet parking at their Ballard dealership and at-home delivery across all locations.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 4/30/25.
Enjoy your drive home with the John Curley Show.
You don't realize the connection you make through radio. Just this thing where people are stuck in their car and you develop this relationship.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 7 on KIRO News Radio.
Announcing the Million Hour Volunteer Rally. G here, join me, Safeway and Albertsons, and donate your time and skills to support local food banks and host food drives or fundraisers. You can win free groceries for a year and a $5,000 donation to your favorite hunger relief agency. Visit albertsons.com/volunteer to learn more. Find volunteer opportunities and log your hours. 1 million hours will help create food secure communities. Visit albertsons.com/volunteer.
Hey, it's Doctors King and Copstein from K2 Vision. If you're at the stage where you need readers, whether you've had LASIK or not, it may be time to consider K2 Vision RLE. I tell my King LASIK patients, laser vision correction won't solve the eventual need for reading glasses due to an aging, dysfunctional lens.
But K2 Vision RLE
RLE will. It's not a question of if your lens becomes dysfunctional, it's when. At that point, you'll need reading glasses and could benefit from refractive lens exchange, a permanent solution to distance, intermediate, and near vision problems. In other words, no glasses, no contacts, and no readers.
And no cataracts.
Exactly. After K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless.
And because we've performed over 100,000 procedures and followed the outcomes, we have the experience to know if RLE is right for you.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com and let's get your vision feeling young again, permanently.
Go to k2visionrle.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-371-0505. 800-371-0505.
I've always been an athletic guy, but after turning 40, I noticed I was slowing down. I booked a free testosterone check with Revive Health and learned that low T doesn't just impact my performance in the bedroom. I've been following a custom treatment plan ever since, and today I'm feeling stronger and more confident than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMensHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMensHealth.com/privacy policy. For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMensHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
Upgrade now with incredible savings on ultra-efficient heat pumps. Get up to $6,000 in rebates plus save 10% on heat pumps through April. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. As Christians commemorate Good Friday today, it's unclear if Pope Francis will lead Easter Sunday Mass at the Vatican. CBS's Chris Livesay says the Pope has been out and about as he recovers from double pneumonia.
Holy Thursday, he pops out of the Vatican and shows up at a prison and is mixing and mingling with about 70 prisoners there.
He also made a surprise appearance at St. Peter's Square on Palm Sunday. A vigil is planned tonight at Florida State University, 1 day after a student opened fire there, killing 2 people and injuring 6. CBS's Skylar Henry spoke to a woman who's familiar with the suspect.
I was in shock. I was like, I know this kid.
FSU sophomore Lainey Montgomery grew up in the same neighborhood as the suspected gunman. They went to middle and high school together.
He was very isolated. He was just very odd. I don't believe he had many friends.
In the wake of Thursday's shooting, FSU canceled classes through the end of the week.
The suspect was shot, injured, and is in custody. Maryland U.S. Senator Chris Van Hollen has met with a man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador.
I do intend to keep at this until we ensure that Mr. Obregor Garcia has his rights to due process.
The Trump administration had said Obregor Garcia was deported due to a clerical error, but is now insisting he's a gang member. At least 23 international students at the University of Washington have had their visas suddenly revoked. University officials say they were not warned ahead of time. They're urging affected students to contact International Student Services right away. Owning a bar or brewery in Washington might get more expensive. The state Senate just narrowly approved a bill raising liquor license fees by 50%. Fenced-off beer gardens may soon be optional. KIRO News Radio's Matt Markovich with more on that.
House Bill 1515 gives large cities the option to keep fenced-in booze gardens or not. For example, at the Bite of Seattle, the entire perimeter of Seattle Center would become a beer garden without any fencing. The bill also allows multiple bars, breweries, and restaurants to share a single alcohol service area, whether it's a street, park, or civic plaza, meaning you could stroll through the festival zone, drink in hand, without being fenced in like an animal. Why now? A flood of international visitors for the World Cup games next year. Then the fence-free zones are set to expire in 2027. Matt Markovich, KIRO News Radio.
Wall Street is closed today because of Good Friday. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, on the Kitsap Peninsula, a crash has been cleared from State Route 3 southbound. Your backup is dissipating. Construction on State Route 18 has you pumping brakes from Tiger Mountain to I-90. And on southbound I-5 near JBLM, you are backed up from north of Stillicum DuPont Road to Tillicum. Travel time Tacoma to Olympia is 50 minutes. That's 20 longer than typical. Traffic brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop freaking call Beacon. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny skies today with highs around 70. It's 64 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. I saw this was covered yesterday. John Curley talked to these guys yesterday. I was very interested in what this was. It's a new sporting event. I love sports and I enjoy gambling. Spike, I know you enjoy gambling and sports as well, right? It's fun. I mean, we would never illegally gamble, obviously, and we wouldn't admit to it.
I have a gambling problem. This is just one more.
Oh, I forgot.
One more.
Yeah, sorry.
One more thing. One more pitfall in the road ahead of me.
Well, good luck avoiding this one, buddy.
I'm telling you, this is coming.
This is going to be the next thing. This is going to be the next big thing. Nate joins us also. Nate the Great Connors.
Yes, hello. Happy Friday.
He is the third amigo, and he joins us. There is a new type of racing, Nate. Have you heard of this? It's live sperm racing. Have you heard of this? It's like a Johnny Carson. But have you heard of this? Have you heard of this new thing?
Yeah, I don't understand why it's in the news.
Sperm racing. Have you heard of this?
Tell me more.
Okay, let me tell you guys a little bit more about it. Let me tell you a little more about it. There are a couple of guys, young guys, really young guys. Actually, it makes sense. The company's co-founder is 17 years old. What they're going to do is they have a new startup called Sperm Racing, and that's, it's all in the title. And what they're going to do is they're going to actually take live samples from people. Somebody will donate.
Sure.
And they're going to have it race 8 inches, which is, what is this going to be? Like how many centimeters? 20 centimeters, 8 inches. And I don't know how they're going to accomplish this, but at the end, they will have a super close-up way to tell which one of these things won.
Microscopic.
And
they're,
Oh, you know what it's probably going to be? Have you ever seen goldfish racing? I was trying to figure out in my head, how do you do this? Because aren't they going to look similar? I mean, it's not
how do you tell which one?
It's not like a horse with a different colored jockey on it. I mean,
exactly. Do you put little numbers on their side? What do you do?
Maybe.
I mean,
the tiny laser cutter.
Do they? I know in dog racing they chase like a mechanical rabbit around the track. Are these things chasing a mechanical egg down the tube?
I think they could.
I mean,
that's a good idea. They might.
I mean, these guys got $1.5 million in startup money.
Yeah,
we're getting better ideas right off. We're just throwing out better ideas right here, right now.
Let's listen to the co-founder. He's a 17-year-old named Eric Zhu, and he was on with John Curley yesterday, and he talked about why sperm racing, and then we can all chat about it as well.
Initially, we started it was actually more of an awareness project, right? Where fertility shouldn't be something associated with porn or something taboo. It should be something that's a very important biomarker. Like male fertility is a big problem. And it's still declining. And the reason is because, everyone associates it with something very, very taboo. And that's why it's declining so rapidly, right? So it's like, how can we associate this with like more of a health biomarker or like a competition? And how can you turn like optimizing your health into a competition versus like something that's actually degenerate?
Let me ask you guys a question real fast. Do you believe that this all started because they wanted to increase conversation about male fertility?
No.
Or did they pivot to that? Quick answer from Nate.
Always go with your first reaction. I trust Nate on this one. You can talk yourself into thinking these kids are science-based.
Yeah. I think, honestly, they're 17 years old, and I think they probably sat around and they're like, hey, it'd be funny?
Once they stopped laughing, they said, no, seriously, we can make some serious money.
We can make money off this, but how do we spin it so like people don't think we're just being gross?
Right.
They said male fertility.
So what's going on again? They're getting a live sample? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a dead sample.
And then they're gonna put it under a microscope and watch it swim around and see where.
Not swim around. No, it's a distance. They're gonna swim a distance. It's a race.
Yeah.
Imagine a tube it was going through.
So, like you said, they're going to have an egg at the end.
Well, they think that the natural instincts of the sperm cell is to
just swim forward,
seek out the egg. Yeah.
Maybe they'll show it a picture of an egg and put it at the end, so they think it's a real egg down.
This is ridiculous.
I don't know how it's going to work, but maybe they can explain a little bit more about it.
My real question is, aren't there enough things to gamble on in this world that you got to?
Short answer, no.
Again, trust your gut.
Gambling makes, now, obviously, if you have a problem with gambling, I don't recommend this to anyone.
No.
But gambling makes everything more fun. Don't you agree?
Absolutely right. Thus, the explosion of fantasy football, fantasy baseball. You can now make wagers on in-game plays in real time.
Everything.
And everything is better when you got a little more skin in the game.
During commercial breaks, when I was producing for Dory's show, Dory loved gambling. Obviously, you remember?
Yeah, I do. I remember.
Love of gambling.
Yep. He was able to control. That's control.
Well, he was he was very good at it. He was
smart.
very good at gambling.
Smart.
And he was in my poker group, and he always used to win. It was very frustrating. But anyway, during the commercial breaks, we would gamble on every single thing. We would throw markers. We would gamble on throwing markers and seeing if we can get them to stick on the ledge. And we would bet every single time. And I'm not joking. And we had a big long list. And we would just keep double or nothing.
How funny.
Yeah, no, I mean, so it makes everything more fun.
You can bet on anything. Yeah.
You could bet on sperm racing.
We have a press conference. We have dramatic competitor walk-ins. We have weigh-ins.
Walk-ins.
We have all of those in a traditional 1v1 sport.
This sounds crazy.
How are they going to do all that?
Ring girl carrying a little cup around.
Jeez. This is absolutely absurd.
But there is
cup around.
Right?
Who's that? It's Kevin.
Kevin. Oh, Kevin. Us Berminator. Go. I can see T-shirts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, marketing, swag, you bet.
The thing is, this is an idea that technology allows you to do now that you couldn't have done in the past. I mean, you might have, but nobody would have watched it. And now you can actually turn into this will be a thing.
Hey, ESPN's got 19 channels to fill. Here's one of them.
Do it.
Right?
Do it, ESPN. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing. There's somebody, they will find an audience. Things have become so fragmented in the entertainment world. And that's got both benefit and deterrent.
That's true.
Detraction.
That's true.
You know, the whatever freaky thing you're into, there's a channel out there for you, and there's a whole network coming for you. And
might even be sperm racing.
Might be, it's whatever. So many jokes there. I've been clean through my tongue.
Is there? Well, no, I'm not going to ask.
I can't. You can't.
I was going to ask. I was going to say,
it's an adult channel.
There is. No, I'm not going to ask.
Don't.
That would be wrong.
Yeah.
I keep check swinging, and I keep convincing myself not to ask this question. But I want to ask this question. Yeah.
This is not going to take off.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Well, then let's move on to our next story.
Please.
Because I do think this one is more interesting for the audience. I think they're going to care more about this.
Okay.
A lot of people have been talking about Trump tariffs and whether or not that's going to have a huge effect on the price of the goods that you're paying or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Just, some of these countries that don't come in and make a deal, like if France doesn't come in quickly and make a deal with the U.S. and their tariffs stick around for a long time after this 90-day pause, what's that going to look like for some of the prices of, where's Spike going to get his French bread?
Everything's going to spike.
Nice.
God, I hate that. I hate that. I want to find a different word for massive increases.
Everything's,
when crime spikes,
going to climb. Everything's going to climb.
Traffic accidents have spiked. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Spiked.
Price of eggs spiked. Great, super. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Life stinks because everything is spiking.
That's right.
Spiking. Seattle Times put together a list of all the things at Costco that you might soon have to pay more for that are popular items, big-time things that people are buying.
Ways to save. Okay, that's good.
What are some items that you guys are buying at Costco that you're worried about? I want to put your minds at ease. Or
remember, I don't shop at Costco, so I'm out of this question.
Nate's unaffected.
But if I were to go there, I would buy the wine. I was into the wine.
Can I ask? Is this a moral decision you've made?
No, just because I don't buy in bulk.
Are you a Sam's Club guy?
No, I don't buy bulk anything.
Do you hate cheap gas?
No, and we talked about this before. I need to join Costco just for the gas.
Just for the gas.
Yes,
man.
just for the gas.
Can I tell you, even if you don't buy in bulk, it's worth. And I'm a big proponent of Costco. Well, Nate, I know you are too. Or excuse me, Jake, I know you are too.
Yeah, I love it.
Because when you got 4 boys at home, if you don't buy your toilet paper at Costco,
right,
you are flushing money down the drain.
There you
go, if you will.
You're paying up the.
Yeah, yes, you are. What is the vibe today?
It's Friday.
So things that can help hedge potential inflationary price increases because of these proposed tariffs. And usually there's a 90-day pause on the massive numbers that President Trump spoke of a couple weeks ago, but there is a 10% tariff already imposed on these countries across the board.
I'm fine with it. You guys already know this.
Well, this affects everything from baby clothing.
From baby clothes to baby food.
Yeah, to baby food,
to bananas,
to liquor,
eggs,
everything in between.
Liquor, lumber, toilet paper.
You name it.
It's coming. It's all coming. Price increases are coming.
Yeah.
So when we come back, can you tell us what the smartest cost-saving buys are?
At Costco?
Yeah.
I
You
can
want
tell
to
you.
rip it out real quick?
Let me just tell you a couple of them.
Sure,
real
yeah,
fast.
because we can move on to other things.
Apparently, there's a La Mer Poulard butter cookie that the Seattle Times recommends that you buy in bulk.
I buy them by the truckload.
These are not necessarily like items that every single
Staples.
person. But
see, we buy butter. I buy butter at Costco.
But
I buy
for Seattle,
a whole flat of butter every time I go in.
Yeah, but for somebody at the Seattle Times, these are the things that they're worried about. They're being not in their.
And they're talking about specifically tariff price increases because these butter cookies are clearly French.
La Mer Poulard butter cookies. Another one is Citterio Prosciutto de Parma.
Oh, that's
Parmesan
good.
cheese from Italy.
Oh, yeah, that's the prosciutto and cheese roll-up.
Kerrygold pure Irish butter.
Kerrygold, baby.
Get it there.
Straight out of Ireland.
And then they have a bunch of olive oil things.
That's why you buy domestic, and you can solve all this.
There you go. USA. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Nate's with us. Stick around. We'll be right back.
KIRO News Radio, your home for the John Curley Show.
You take the money from the guy that made the money because somehow he doesn't deserve all of that money, and you give it to the government, and then they redistribute it to everybody. How is wealth created from that? It is never created. We are all richer because these people, they came up with some pretty cool ideas that we all benefit from. Most of these guys didn't set out to be billionaires. What they set out to do was solve a problem.
Find podcasts and more at mynorthwest.com.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com. Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft, and we've got an offer you're not going to want to wait for. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves. Whatever you like, we'll help you create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, and expense than a tear-out. Stop waiting. We're having a trade-in sale. You'll save $30 per door and drawer front off the cost of your new kitchen. Count them up and see how much you'll save. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Call today and let one of our pros come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Hey, it's Dave Ross with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD from Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Dr. Wagner is hosting a free stem cell webinar Thursday, April 24th to explain stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
And remind us which joints you've had the best success with.
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, so if you're in pain, join him Thursday, April 24th for the free stem cell webinar and learn all about this amazing procedure. Register now at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Cars for Kids, the easy way to donate your car. Donate today and your car can be picked up tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.com or 1-877-CARS4KIDS. Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Welcome back to the show. All right, social media has become such a huge part of life, it seems. We get tons of our news from stories that are generated on social media. We follow trends that are generated there. We watch funny videos. And Spike, you came in today and you were saying that what happened? Your kid had something happen on social media that's pretty amazing.
I'm mystified every time I see somebody who makes their living on social media as like an influencer,
Sure.
or they've got a channel that streams so much and they've got sponsorships and it's an income generator. And a lot of people make a boatload of money.
Tons.
Yeah. My kid came. I took Darby to a performance earlier this week, and Dad, I got a check from TikTok. I'm like, excuse me? Well, apparently my kid made a video for fun, back in over the Christmas break with a schoolmate of theirs, and they posted this video up on social media. And apparently the schoolmate that Darby made the video with has a TikTok channel that is sponsored, is monetized. And Darby got a call in from his buddy Sam, say, hey, TikTok money came in, I'm sending you a check. I made $200 on TikTok. And I'm like, oh,
that's
my
insane.
jaw dropped. I'm like, well, what do you and I came in today and I talked about it and I said to Laura, Darby made this video where they dress up as, the Nosferatu, the Dracula origin story, I guess, movie.
Sure.
Was out this year, and Darby and her buddy dressed up like Nosferatu, and they performed the song from Wicked. And as much as my jaw dropped in the $200, Laura says to me,
I said, did it go mega viral? And you were like, yeah.
Apparently it's making some money.
And I was like, I've seen this video. And I actually think I sent it to my cousin group chat when I saw it, having no idea that it was Darby in the video. Because also the makeup is beyond. I mean, face paint.
It's very, very funny, yeah.
Hair slicked back.
They made like hair slicked back, skin wigs, long extended faked, long Nosferatu fingers.
What it's done is like it's supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be super accurate,
no,
right?
No. They're singing a Wicked song in the character. Both of them are Nosferatu.
The Wicked song.
Right, yeah. And so, I'm thinking, okay, that's really silly. But the deal is that they go 6 minutes.
What makes it so funny is that
do we have a piece of
they
this?
do the entire song. Yeah.
Why couldn't you stay calm for once instead of flying off there? I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy now. I hope you're happy now. You got your cause forever.
That's your daughter?
I hope you're clever. I hope you're happy.
That's it.
I hope you're happy too. I hope you're proud.
It's beyond.
They don't break, right? It's like 6 minutes.
Right, that's
6 minutes. They almost break several times.
It is funny because it's like an SNL sketch because they're both trying not to laugh, so it's really funny. But then at a certain point, they put this video out there, and it ends up getting like how many millions and millions of views?
When Darby did it, it got a couple hundred people shared it, and then a couple thousand. When you shared it, it had like
8,000 views.
8,000. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
8,000 views.
A couple hundred likes. Yeah.
Right. And now?
Now it has 1.5 million views.
Crazy.
And 250,000 likes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Just beyond.
And that's just money, and they just sent the check.
They just get. And so I said, so when's your next video?
Yeah.
Little one.
Get to work.
Yeah. And then his buddy Sam's like, we got to make more of these because people love these.
You got an audience now.
Well, they made a couple different shorter videos with them just staying in those characters and doing silly things.
I always wondered how they actually ended up getting paid for these things.
I don't understand it at all.
Because unless you're like signing up an advertiser like through traditional means,
yeah,
is it all just the whatever clicks? Because they always
TikTok has a creator fund, and if your videos perform successfully enough, consistently enough, you have a reasonable number of followers, you can be invited to join or apply to join the creator fund.
Gotcha.
And then your channel is monetized. So any video over a minute starts earning money. If it's less than a minute, no money. But if it's over a minute
61
long,
seconds,
yeah,
that's the
boom,
money. But it
get
can't
a
be,
check.
Yeah, but it can't. I guess it can be long. This one's a long video, and it did very well.
We made a parody when the Seahawks were playing. This is 10-some years ago. And this thing got 10 million views.
What was the song?
It was a parody of remember when the Deflategate?
Yeah, of course. Tom Brady, yeah.
We made a song, an AC/DC parody to a song called Big Balls.
Nice.
And we Tom Brady's balls are very flat balls.
It's a theme to the show today.
Don't play it anyway. What was good in the 90s and the 2000s ain't safe for radio today.
That wasn't 2000. That was like recently,
well, that was
right?
like 2013, 2014. Anyway, 10 million views. I didn't see a penny. I didn't know how to do any. I had no idea what monetization. You made a video?
You know what though? Somebody made money.
Somebody made money. Somebody put that thing out there.
Did not send you a check.
I didn't get a penny.
Somebody,
luckily, the
somebody
kids
email
these days.
Spike his money, please.
Please.
Or can you Venmo him or however you do that? Yeah, it's pretty good.
But anyway, so I just love that my kid's creative. I love that my kid and
congratulations.
Thank you.
That's very cool.
Maybe graduating from an arts college won't have them living in my basement for the next 10 years.
Well,
and they said it wouldn't pay.
Here's to hoping. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The preseason AC sale is on now at Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. This month only, keep your home cool and your wallet comfortable with 15% off. Plus, free financing on all air conditioners, heat pumps, and ductless systems. Trust the team voted best in the Pacific Northwest and call Bob's today for your free estimate. Hurry, the discount reduces to 10% off in May. Call Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
At the Harnish Auto family, people matter isn't just a saying, it's how they do business. For over 40 years, their dealerships, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Volkswagen, Subaru of Puyallup, plus Chevrolet and Kia of Everett, have built a stellar reputation on trust, respect, and great deals. From supporting local charities to making sure every customer drives away happy, they're here for you. Stop by any of their dealerships or visit HarnishAutoFamily.com and find your next car today. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed a musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Through June 23rd, get 400 megabit Xfinity Internet with free equipment and unlimited internet data. Plus, get one unlimited 5G mobile line included, all for $40 a month for 1 year. And ask how you can get a free 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply with paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Xfinity Internet required. Taxes, fees extra. After 1 year, rate increases to $70 per month. After 2 years, regular rates apply. Actual fees vary and not guaranteed.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through April 20th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Their video interview tool makes it easy and effortless to meet with candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Cammie McCormick with the senator returning from El Salvador after meeting with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. The administration is stepping up its accusations about the man who was mistakenly deported.
This is the man that the Democrats are wanting us to fly back from El Salvador to be a happily ensconced member of the USA family.
Reporter Linda Kenyon at the White House.
A judge had protected Garcia from deportation, citing a threat from El Salvador gangs, but the Trump administration deported him anyway, citing a clerical error. President Trump, though, maintains Garcia has no business in this country.
This man is according to certified statements that we get, is a very violent person.
And the president says that's not all.
He's an illegal alien MS-13 gang member.
Many Democrats and Garcia's family say he was not any of those things, and at the very least, he should be granted due process. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Stacey Lynn has the latest on the shooting yesterday at Florida State.
The alleged 20-year-old gunman, Phoenix Eichner, remains in the hospital with significant injuries. But Tallahassee Police Chief Lawrence Revel says once he's released,
he'll be taken to a local detention facility where he will face the charges up to and including first-degree murder.
As for a motive for the shooting that killed two,
at this point, there does not appear to be any connection at all between the shooter and any of the victims.
5 others were injured, and emergency surgeon Brett Howard says,
"We do feel that all will make a full recovery."
Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
It once provided information on how to deal with COVID. Now, as Alexander Tin reports, you're directed to a federal website that supports the theory about where the pandemic began.
The Trump administration has taken down the COVID.gov website that used to host information on how to find vaccines and test for the virus. That now redirects to a White House webpage listing several accusations made in a report by House Republicans last year, criticizing Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo, former NIH officials like Dr. Anthony Fauci, and arguing that a so-called laboratory leak is the true origin of the virus that caused the COVID-19 pandemic.
If you put off buying something because of the tariffs, you have lots of company, as business reporter Jason Brooks tells us.
Real estate firm Redfin says its survey of consumers over the past week found nearly 1 in 4 canceling plans to purchase high-priced items like homes or cars, while another 1 in 3 are delaying those plans, with consumers increasingly concerned about inflation and unemployment resulting from the tariffs.
The markets are closed for the holiday. This is CBS News.
Steel walk-behind, zero-turn, and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow.
A school wrestling coach arrested for allegedly sexting with a teen. The story coming up, but first from the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk. Construction is bogging down traffic in a few spots. On southbound I-5 near JBLM, you're backed up from north of Stillicum DuPont Road to Gravelly Lake Drive. Travel time Tacoma to Olympia is almost an hour. That's half an hour longer than typical. You're pumping brakes on State Route 18 from Tiger Mountain up to I-90. And in Bellingham, you have a 3-mile backup on southbound I-5 because of road work at Guide Meridian. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch.
Keep your hands above your head.
Pierce County deputies and SWAT arresting an 18-year-old man wanted in a mass shooting at a house party last month. 2 people were killed, 4 injured. A 17-year-old was arrested earlier and is charged with 2 counts of murder. An Auburn middle school wrestling coach is facing charges for alleged sex crimes involving a teenager.
The 64-year-old coach is accused of sexually messaging a 14-year-old girl on his team and convincing her to send nude images and videos, reports KIRO 7 TV. Auburn PD spokesperson Colby Crossley.
This person is in a position of power, and they took advantage of someone that they obviously had power over, and that's very unfortunate.
The teen allegedly told a teacher about the messaging, and that teacher reported up the chain, leading to the arrest. In a notice to families, school officials said the suspect is no longer an employee. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
A group of Gig Harbor parents is considering suing the Peninsula School District after the popular principal at their children's elementary school was moved to a different school. Minter Elementary PTO President Jessica Gamble.
The kids and parents are devastated. We're deeply concerned about how this impacts our kids' education moving forward.
The district says reassigning principals is standard practice. Governor Bob Ferguson is warning Democrats who control the legislature that their budget relies too heavily on raising taxes. He says that's risky in the face of federal budget cuts. More from KIRO News Radio's Matt Markovich.
It's as close to a veto warning as you could possibly get without saying the word. But this is a great indication that, well, we may be head for that special session if we can't get the governor and the Democrats to agree.
Ferguson is also a Democrat. The current legislative session ends in 9 days, and the state still needs to find a way to fix a projected $16 billion budget gap. The Seattle Mariners rally late in Cincinnati, coming back in the 9th inning thanks to home runs.
Back-to-backers by Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena. We are tied at 7.
The M's went on to win it in extra innings, 11-7. They start a 3-game series against the Blue Jays in Toronto this afternoon. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny skies today with highs around 70. It's 65 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much for watching us on YouTube Live, which is a new thing we're doing, which is a lot of fun. You can check it out. If you're interested in wanting a link to that, you can type in Team Jake, Team Spike, or Team Laura. I think you'll immediately get a bounce back of a link that you can follow. I don't know if that's still true. Laura's giving me a funny face.
We don't have it set up automated
we don't have
today,
it set up right now.
But I will personally send you the link.
That's too nice.
That's really
well,
nice.
then all you have to do is just say, Laura, can I please have the link in the text, which you can
Pretty
do.
please.
888-973-5476. Laura, can I pretty please have a link? And she'll send you one back.
Here's a picture of my cat to get you to the front of the line.
Yep, she'll do it. All right, we have a lot to get to, a lot to talk about. Jason Rance is going to stop by in a few minutes. He has an article on mynorthwest.com, which you guys can check out there. Read about it, and then come back for the conversation in just about 7-8 minutes. Jason will be in studio with us. It's one of the more harrowing, disgusting bus riding stories you've ever heard. And we asked him to stop by. I read it, and I said, this is so awful, and this is exactly why I don't take public transit. Can you please tell us about this experience? So he'll be by in a few minutes, so tune in for that. Spike, did you see that we're about to get a new viral egg restaurant? And I was confused by the name of this, and I actually asked you guys this morning at our meeting when we were planning out what we were going to talk about. I was like, am I reading this right or wrong? Am I pronouncing it right? There's a company called Eggs. It's
Sloot. Egg Sloot.
Egg Sloot.
It's got to be Norwegian, right?
It must be Norwegian.
That's what it is. It's
You're
because
right.
there's no way EGGSLUT is the name of this restaurant that's not pronounced Egg Sloot.
Apparently it is. Yeah.
Is it?
It's coming to Capitol Hill.
No.
Laura, how do you say this name? I'm not going to say it. You say it.
Egg slut.
Egg Slut. I just said it. I lied. I'll say it. Egg Slut.
Egg slut.
Oh, wait a minute. It comes from Los Angeles. Of course that's how you say it. Of course that's how you say it. Now that I'm looking at the story, of course it is.
Is it Eggs Lut?
Loot. See?
Eggs Loot?
Egg and Loot Fisks. What a
So
great
what is
combo.
this place? Have you guys been to Egg Slut? Do you know about Egg Slut? Tell us about Egg Slut, Laura. Do you know anything about it?
I know I've heard of it. I've never prioritized visiting in other places where this chain exists.
You can go to Melrose Market if you're in LA. You can go there and get some Egg Slut.
Up in Capitol Hill.
It's a breakfast sandwich spot. So,
Oh, Melrose Market is in Capitol Hill?
Yeah.
I thought Melrose,
No,
because they're not there yet. I assume Melrose was
coming. Yeah, if they've got one in LA, they got one in London.
Gotcha.
So apparently they know how to make a great sandwich. I mean, from the looks of these photos, we're talking about a story from Fox 13. The looks of these sandwiches, I'm all about this. This is manna from heaven.
It looks like an egg sandwich. Which
Wow,
everybody
look at
can
that
enjoy.
bacon. It's perfect. Thick, it's crispy. Boom.
So
brioche buns. Yeah.
Oh, sweet buns.
Right?
On that egg
And we're
slut.
talking about, maybe finding a way for us to take a look at new foods on this show to help, give the multimedia experience of our YouTube channel. And we got a new restaurant coming to town.
Would you try an egg slut?
I would love to try an egg slut.
Yeah. Why not? Give it a try.
Yeah.
Give it the old college try.
Sure, I would for the benefit of the audience.
Laura, how long has this business been around? Is this a new name? Did they just come up with this?
No. It started in 2011, which I actually think was part of a late stage millennial trend of
shocking names.
Shocking names, yeah. Like a little swear word. I don't know if anyone remembers "Go the F to Sleep," that book.
I do remember that book. Yeah, I remember getting some
I
traction.
got the Samuel L. Jackson audiobook of that. Priceless.
See, this stuff breaks through the noise.
his voice
You're
is
talking about it, so it's kind of instant marketing, right? I think that's
what
honestly
they want.
think that it's like a cheap gimmick.
It is a cheap gimmick. Yeah, egg slut is cheap. You're right. So egg slut's coming. Are you guys going to eat there? If Spike, you said you'd eat there. I'd try it.
I'd stop by for a try. Yeah, you bet I would. And if it's real good, I'd make it a regular. I'd make it a habit.
Why not?
Sure.
Yeah.
I love a good breakfast sandwich.
Marry that sandwich. We should give it a try. If they come to town, we'll give it a try. I do wish they changed their name. I do feel kind of bad saying egg slut all the time.
I kind of do too.
I prefer.
Would they mind if we called it egg sloot?
Egg sloot?
I
prefer egg sloot.
I do.
I think it's a little more family friendly.
You could put one in Ballard. It would fit right in.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Sponsor the new Norwegian parade.
Egg sloot. It's got fish in it.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think
That's
that's
great.
better. I think
That's a
this is all
tasty
free
looking
marketing
sandwich.
that we're doing for them too. I think they're going to do well with a certain sector of people in Capitol Hill who won't be offended by that name and won't find it controversial in any way. But for the rest of us, make it at least sound a little bit like Norwegian or something.
Maybe they're in Tokyo, Vegas, London, and LA. Maybe it sounds better in Japanese.
Maybe.
You know, can we learn the Japanese way to say it and order it that way? Would that be okay with them?
Laura, can you go look up egg slut in Japanese? We'll figure out what that is.
We'll get one of those IG translators.
We'll give that to you in a few
IA
minutes.
translators, yeah.
Jason will be here momentarily, so we got to get this other story out of the way really fast. Did you see this backup that happened in Puyallup? It's wild.
Sully's choke point?
Wild.
I can't believe this.
Wild nature is what it was. It was a bald eagle backup. There's a picture, and you can look at this at mynorthwest.com. It's really it's an amazing picture. There are cars slowly driving by in the left lane because the right lane is blocked by a bald eagle who has decided to land on the road. I don't know what he's a death wish or something.
I think he's protesting speeders.
I think you're right.
That's what I think he's doing.
He's
taking safety in his own wings. Yeah,
he's got a tiny little like orange sweatshirt on.
Who needs a speed bump when you've got a bald eagle?
Wouldn't you? Would you stop for this too? I would.
I tell you what, I would certainly. Yeah, I would. I'd slow down.
I'd salute him. I love bald eagles in nature.
I do too. When we moved here in the late '80s, I had never seen a bald eagle live. And so the first time,
just dead ones?
No, never seen.
In person,
on a coin, or in a picture. That was it for me. And to see bald eagles in the wild in the Great Northwest here it's a moving experience when you see a bald eagle in real life.
Yep.
And now I see them quite frequently. I've never seen one stop traffic.
No,
that's a first.
No, well, if they're perched nearby a road or something, or maybe I don't know, like maybe he's chasing a mouse or something across. I don't know what he's doing. It looks like a real life Far Side setup. You remember, like
yes,
doesn't it?
Yes.
Like I don't know what he's doing, but somebody else could come up with a funny headline of what he's actually doing. Something crossing the road. I don't know. These are bad suggestions, and we're just thinking on the spot. But you should see the pictures at mynorthwest.com. It's a beautiful eagle. I wish him well. Police officers were called. This is how long he was in the road. Police officers were called to the scene. They arrived, and when they approached the eagle, he then flew off. He decided, I've had enough. I don't want to mess with these cops.
My work here is done, he said.
Yeah, I think I'm going to head out. It's just crazy he was there for that long. I don't know what he's doing. If he had gotten hit or something.
Well, the report says that there didn't seem to be a baby nearby. It didn't seem to be injured.
No eaglets.
And when he was approached by a state patrol, as all of us do, he fled.
Yeah, craziness. All right, I want to get to, we have a guest. He's just coming in here now, and we're excited to talk with him. Jason Rance, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I read an article on mynorthwest.com a little earlier, and I thought it would be fun for the three of us to chat about it. You, me, and Spike.
I read the same article, and I got to tell you, I had a bus experience a week ago that I was singing the praises of because I must have hit the wormhole of the perfect metro experience in Seattle.
You did.
Yeah, there are certain lines that are totally fine.
Maybe it was geographical that I hit so. Because I got on the bus expecting the nightmare of the stories I've heard from so many people, and I didn't experience it. So I'm like, maybe I've got this all wrong. And then I read about your experience.
What was your experience?
In fairness, my experience started off the bus.
Yeah, fair. But that's part of the system we're paying for.
It happened earlier this week. I head on over to my normal bus stop. It was about 7:30 or so, and I look at my app, and it tells me the bus is going to be there in 10 minutes, which is so annoying because it just showed the bus having left, and I was late to it. So I'm like, okay, I'll just, futz around on my phone and see what happens. Some people start to show up, and two women are standing next to me. We're just kind of bored, obviously. And then in the corner of my eye, I can see a man coming. And I can then hear the man coming. The kind of sloppy, wet, gross cough.
Contagious.
That is going to spread something. Yeah. And it's funny because this is not something that's unique to right. This happens all the time. There's always someone on a bus, just like always someone weirdly in a movie theater who just has a cough that they should not be in that movie theater. But at least on a bus, I get you got to go somewhere.
Right.
Fine. Right. So I just kind of see him in the corner of my eye, but I'm not really thinking of anything. But as I'm waiting there, waiting for the bus to show up, you've got the two women standing next to me kind of glaring at him just out of the corner of their eye. I could see, and they keep just kind of shifting over, and they're seeing something. And I think at the time they're just noticing the guy coughing. Maybe they're new to the bus. Many minutes later, I then start to smell weed. I'm like, oh God. And it wasn't coming from that homeless dude who was coming from two other homeless people who were standing right by the bus stop. So I look down at my app. It says, the bus is no longer showing up. It's going to be another 10 minutes. I got a ghost bus. The ghost bus scenario where It shows up on the app. It's 2 minutes away. Then 2 minutes shows up, and like it did not show up, and it just disappeared from the app.
You're just looking around like, did I miss it?
Well, sometimes I've done that.
Did I get secondhand weed and zoned past the bus went by and I didn't get on?
High. I was so out of it. So I decided, you know what? It's a nice morning. Let me just walk. So I turned to walk, but before that, I start hearing a weird noise from the cougher, and it wasn't a cough. It was this.
Yikes.
Just over and over and over
Did he
again.
have a dog with him that he was?
Nope, he was there alone. Just. And I gotta say, I was at that point kind of curious what the noise was.
Yeah.
It was like an airy sucking in, and it was wet.
Was he smoking something?
Well, now I realize why the women were looking at him. I turned this guy as I'm walking off. He is missing his entire left cheek.
What?
I saw his teeth, his gums, and his tongue.
How is that possible?
He was wearing a bandana, which originally in the corner of my eye I thought was maybe just covering his mouth for the coughing. Well, it wasn't covering his mouth. It was holding his chin up to his face.
What is happening?
And
why is he walking around like that?
Was the saliva he's trying to keep in his mouth. I'm sorry, folks, if you're eating lunch right now.
You're painting quite a picture.
This is like a Fear the Walking Dead situation.
It was so disturbing. So much so, and this is very rare for me, I did not take a photo or a video.
Like, I gotta get out of here.
Number one, I felt awful for this guy who didn't appear to be in any sort of physical pain.
This was his normal state of existence.
This was his normal state. And the skin around, it was kind of, do you remember Harvey Dent in The Dark Knight?
I was going to say Two-Face once he got Two-Faced.
It was that graphic with red flesh around. And when I say his cheek was missing, his cheek was gone. It wasn't there. And so I'm walking away thinking to myself, one, this is a quintessential Seattle bus stop experience for me, at least on this particular route. It's been, this is not a great route because it goes through downtown Seattle and it picks up a lot of the bad elements. But I was like, this is also Seattle compassion at its worst. This is a guy who's homeless, who's missing his face. And yet there has been no one who's been willing to really lay down the law and say, we're giving you help. I don't care what it takes. We're making your life miserable until you get help. Because if you have not hit the rock bottom, missing your face to get you on the right path, then you're never going to get there until you're dead. And I'd rather someone intervene before he dies. While at the same time, you got two potheads who are there also clearly homeless. It's like, what are we doing? We cannot help these people. And then I started to think, and if I complain about this on the bus, I'll get someone like Spike saying, that's not how the bus is. But people actually normally will say that.
That's what I thought the bus was, and when I had a very pleasant experience.
Yeah, some people will.
That was the outlier. Apparently.
You were pleasantly surprised.
I was genuinely pleasantly surprised. I went in fearing exactly the scene you're describing.
Travel through downtown Seattle.
I guess I was coming in from North Ballard, coming into the Seattle
that
Center
is
area.
generally a better look. I don't pretend every single line is like this.
Of course not.
But when they go through downtown Seattle and into the International District, or on the other side into the University Place area, it's kind of like that. Now, you might not have to that experience. I've not seen a man with a missing cheek before.
Yeah, this
was the first time.
Sure.
But I couldn't help but think that the reason why he wasn't in any pain was because he was probably high on something. And I was thinking Trank, which was the fentanyl with the tranquilizer in it, which has shown to actually decay your body and body parts would fall off.
Do you think that's what was happening? It's like
it sounds
clearly
like
there was some sort of
flesh-eating bacteria, MRSA type moment for this poor guy.
I don't know what it was, but that's my guess.
Maybe he woke up and an animal bit his face off.
No, this was.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to make
this
jokes.
was clearly. I mean, this. It looked like a flesh-eating. I'm not an expert.
And he was holding it together, no pun intended, with a bandana to hold his face together.
Gosh.
It was so disturbing.
This is why I don't ride public transit. I mean,
you're smart.
I have ridden it occasionally by myself.
I did not take the bus today. Let me tell you.
Well, I would never ride it with my kids because I don't want them to see somebody with a missing cheek.
No, I know that. I read your piece, and I appreciate your speaking up to the fact that, we can throw money at a problem, but unless there's going to be accountability for those who need the help, let alone want the help, but need the help for the betterment of all of us.
Yeah.
What's it going to take to get this going on?
This is not a money issue. We've spent more and more and more money, and as we spend more money, we see more people who are getting homeless. This is not a spending issue. This is a mixed priorities issue. You've got people who need help, and we're not essentially forcing them into help if they're saying no over and over and over again. And I can guarantee you this guy has been offered help many, many times, like literally every homeless person in Seattle.
Yeah, but that
They've
comes
been
with giving up his habit, which he is unwilling to do, most likely.
And that is my point. I don't care they don't want to give up their habit, whatever it happens to be. Let's just say this person was addicted to a drug. I don't know, but let's just presume that. Okay, well, guess what? You're smoking somewhere. You're shooting up somewhere. That is illegal. You're almost certainly going to be doing it in public. We then arrest you, and we use the threat of or the leverage of going to jail and detoxing in jail, which is a horrible situation, to get you into help. And if you're going to say no, okay, then you're going to jail. And yeah, you'll be released tomorrow probably, especially in Seattle. I'll be here tomorrow, and I'm going to make the arrest again because you're going to do exactly the same thing. And we're going to do this over and over and over again until you get the help that you need. And it is a model that works all around the country. Don't have to go that far. You can go to Marysville because that has been their model. Smaller scale, obviously, with homelessness. But their basic message, and Pierce County had been doing this for a while too, you're breaking the law. I'll give you one of two options, jail or you get help. We'll give you the help. We'll offer you the help.
Right. That third option, whatever the hell you want to do, is off the table.
We just can't do that anymore.
Right.
But that is, for the most part, the strategy in Seattle. Even when you see the sweeps are just sweeps. They just go a couple blocks away.
It's a pushing the bump and the rug up.
How about saying, we're not going to let you do that. We're putting you, it's illegal what you're doing, so we're going to throw you in jail if you don't want to take us up and go into shelter. I don't want to follow the rules. Too bad. You don't have to follow rules. First of all, yes, we all have to follow rules, but I pay for my rent.
Sure.
So what I want to do in the privacy of my own apartment, I get to do that.
And you pay for
you don't
you
at
pay
this
for that
point.
bus stop, and you pay for that bus.
Yeah.
We all do.
And I pay for the treatment that I'm trying to get this person in.
Yeah.
I want them to take it.
Who needs a skin graft, it sounds like. Or a new
I
cheek.
mean, might need more than
if
a
there's
skin
a way
graft.
to fix it, I don't even know if you can.
Yeah, I have no clue. But the sad part is, the reality is, he will be dead soon. He's going to die. And he's going to die out on the streets, most likely due to whatever infection impacted his cheek. And we're not going to save him. He's already gone. He is already dead because of Seattle policies. And I'd like to prevent that from happening to other people.
I can tell you that in the bus stop in my neck of the woods up in Shoreline, there was a homeless couple that had taken up residence in one of our bus stops until the day I drove by and saw the police with him under a tarp.
Yeah.
Because he was gone.
That's what happens.
Yeah. That's the only ending this goes toward.
And the reality is there's a lot more people like that, and it's about not necessarily saving them, because I don't think you're going to be able to. We just don't move that quickly. It's about saving the person in the future who's about to become homeless, who's already starting to deal with drug addiction and inevitably will become homeless. It's about stopping that and helping that.
Death by compassion.
And Seattle compassion is deadly.
What's compassion.
Seattle compassion is deadly.
Yeah, man.
And it's been deadly for a very long time. And the people who get tough on this stuff have the best results. And that's including in blue cities like Austin.
All right, Jason Rance. Everyone should check this article out. It's pretty great. Check it out at mynorthwest.com.
Give him my number if you need a ride to work, but just text me.
I got a car now with our wonderful sponsor, Sunset Auto Family.
Jason's got a new sponsor. That's right. You can say them again. What's the sponsor?
Sunset Auto Family.
I love Sunset.
Yeah, they're the best.
Great guys.
They're the best, yeah. All right, we got a lot more coming up. There's a few new movies coming out. Feels like a fun topic to talk about on a Friday. There's a new Jurassic Park.
That's a much more cheerier topic.
There's a new Jurassic Park. There's also a new Star Wars coming out with a major Hollywood star. I think this is a bad idea. We will explain why when we come back. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
At KIRO News Radio, our commitment goes beyond delivering the latest headlines.
Authorities say they've busted a violent drug trafficking ring in Seattle.
Mayor Bruce Harrell says this operation should go a long way toward putting a stop to crime in the CID.
We dive deep into the stories that matter, helping you understand the impact on your community and your life.
Even if you do get caught, you're going to probably get a small little smack on the hand.
So you can have your opinions, I can have mine.
KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hey, Spike O'Neill for Integrity Roofing and Construction. And Integrity in Roofing and Construction, these guys live up to their name. And I've been telling you about them for a while. It's not just the professionalism of their crews. It's not just they use the very best products available today, sustainable products. It's the fact that they care so much, and they're a completely integrated roofing and construction company with a complete design department. They'll come to your home and tell you exactly how to get the most return for your investment. What other little improvements you can make, they can make to your home to make sure that your home looks and lasts the longest. Looks the best, lasts longest. It's amazing. 206-202-ROOF is the phone number, 206-202-ROOF, or online at integrityrc.com.
I've never had any complaints about my performance in the bedroom. But after turning 40, I noticed my libido just wasn't what it used to be. That's when I reached out to Revive Health. Their team knew exactly what I needed, which is why today, my wife and I are both more satisfied than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy-policy. For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at K2VisionRLE.com.
We're here with our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage expert. Steve, mortgage rates have been dropping this year. How could that help seniors struggling to stay in their homes?
Lower mortgage rates means seniors can now get more money from their equity with a reverse mortgage. You can pay off your existing mortgage, have extra money to help with today's high cost of living, or believe it or not, you can even buy a home with a reverse mortgage. There are many uses, and best of all, you have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
But as you always say, a reverse mortgage is not for everyone.
That's right. Avoid the high-pressure sales pitch from those out-of-state call centers. I give you a consultation, not a sales pitch. I'll tell you if a reverse mortgage is right for you, and I always tell you if it's not.
Honest advice you can trust from the reverse mortgage experts. Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts and debt consolidation specialists too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
There's a sink at the brink and a drain that's a pain.
Dayandnight.net.
The old throne's not too well, and ooh, does it smell?
Dayandnight.net.
Slow drains, backed up toilet, is your main drain or sewer clogged? Hi, I'm Bruce, General Manager of Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Over the past 70 years, I think we've seen every drain clog out there. If your pipes aren't draining from a small fix to a major repair, our sewer and camera inspection will show exactly where the problem is. I promise you, our experienced technicians will find the issue, the right solution, and do it at a fair price. Give us a call or visit
Dayandnight.net.
I guarantee whether Day and Night is your first choice or your smart second opinion, we'll work harder than anyone to earn your trust.
If you have a drain that's slow or clogged, call Day and Night. Now you'll save $50 off any drain cleaning. Slow or clogged drains? You know where to go.
Dayandnight.net.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS. Eloquist.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call today and ask about our trade-in sale. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Some students in the international community at the University of Washington are on edge. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch explains why.
The federal government has canceled the visas of 13 University of Washington students and 10 recent graduates who are participating in post-grad training. In a statement, the UW says neither it nor the students received prior notice and that the university only found out by checking a federal government record system that said the visas were revoked due to a, quote, immigration status violation. It gave no details. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
In a separate case, a federal judge in Tacoma has ordered the federal government to reinstate the student visa status for a UW grad student. Homeland Security terminated the Chinese student status because of a pending DUI case from 2 years ago. A U.S. Supreme Court hearing over birthright citizenship now set for May 15th, but as CBS's legal analyst Jan Crawford points out,
Trump administration didn't ask the Supreme Court to consider the underlying issue of birthright citizenship. They asked the court to look at this issue of nationwide injunctions. It just happens to be in this birthright citizenship case.
A federal judge in Seattle blocked the order on birthrights after Washington's attorney general sued. White House has expressed frustration with lower court judges blocking the president's orders. Another measles warning in Washington after a visitor from Canada potentially exposed people while traveling through SeaTac Airport last week. It was on Sunday the 6th and Monday the 7th. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss reports the individual also stayed the night at the Comfort Suites next to Family Fun Center in Tukwila.
The virus can stay in the air for up to 2 hours where an infected person passes through. But this is not counting as a case for our state. It counts for Canada. So far this year, Washington has 4 cases between King and Snohomish counties. This week, the U.S. will likely surpass 800 cases nationwide, most of them in the South.
Heads up, if you're in a restaurant, winery, or even a spa that serves wine, your liquor fees could soon jump. The state Senate approved a 50% increase yesterday. Supporters say fees have not gone up since the 1980s. Opponents worry it'll hurt struggling businesses. Measure now moves to the House with just 9 days left in the legislative session. Markets are closed on this Good Friday. Now to the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. This report is brought to you by Harnish Auto Family. We start in Seattle, southbound I-5, just prior to Northgate Way. Collision blocks the 2 left lanes, including the HOV lane. Traffic backed up to Northeast 145th. Right now, Linwood to Seattle is a 35-minute drive. All clear after a crash on northbound 405 at 44th. Both directions still slow. Approaching the exit there. Right now, Renton to Bellevue is a 30-minute drive. Bellevue to Renton, 20 minutes. And a heads up on both eastbound and westbound SR 18 approaching I-90. Got a bit of a backup there as crews are shifting lanes there in the area. So a bit of a backup over the Tiger Mountain summit there. Rest of the map starting to build. Tacoma to Olympia, looking at about a 45-minute drive with the slowdowns through JBLM, the construction zone there. And Renton to Puyallup, a 45-minute drive. Over 40 years, the Harnish Auto family has built a stellar reputation on trust, respect, great deals. Find your next car at harnishautofamily.com. Harnish Auto Family. People matter. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunny today, highs in the low 70s. Bit of a cool down for the weekend, with temperatures in the mid-50s and some scattered showers. Right now, 66 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show on this Good Friday. We hope you're all having a wonderful start to your holiday weekend. Spike, you and I both love movies. It's one of our great passions in life. There's a bunch of big movies coming out. Are you excited about these?
Some. Some of them I'm very excited about.
Are you cautious when a movie that you loved in the past is then remade again and again and again and again and again?
I think sequels are one of the laziest And I'm speaking in generalities because there are examples of phenomenal sequels, sometimes better than the originals. We've had this conversation before.
Yeah, and we're about to talk about one that I think fits into that category.
For the most part, sequels are just lazy money grabs, beating a dead horse.
Oftentimes it is.
Yeah, maybe often's better than most times.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Well, no, I'd say you're right. I think it is most times. Sequels are pretty
That's
lazy.
money grabs.
They feel like money grabs.
And to be fair, it takes a lot to put a movie out, and it's a big risk. It's a financial gamble for studios. And so they want to know, where's it worked before? Yeah, am I going to make any money back on this, let alone turn a profit? So I understand.
I completely understand why they do it.
Yeah.
And I extra appreciate when they do it at the right time because they've developed the story enough to justify making the movie, not just because it's still popular and they can remake the movie.
Right on.
Like I recently saw Moana 2.
Okay.
Not as good as the first movie.
That's a classic piece of animated, Disney magic.
It's not anywhere, and I'm not trying to be mean. I sat there and I watched it with my kids, and I'm waiting for the music to come on that is catchy, that is good. The music in Moana 1 was unbelievable.
Right.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, so good.
Beautiful
Every song,
stuff.
so good.
Yeah.
This movie, I don't think he's involved at all.
Rarely do they get the original team back together.
Yeah, but when they do, it can be magic. But this time, they tried to recapture
Mulan 2, no. Moana 2, no. Mulan 2, no.
Yeah.
There's a reason they'd make Beauty and the guy who used to be a beast. They didn't make that.
No,
there's a reason.
He becomes a beast again. They get married, and he just
married life was tough on the prince.
Spends all his time on the toilet.
Well, she hides in the library.
Yeah. Sequels are really tough. So I want to talk about, there's a couple big ones coming out that I was watching the trailers for, and I was interested in your reaction. The first is Jurassic World Rebirth. They're trying to capture some of that nostalgia from the earlier films. And I will say, the original Jurassic Park in 1993 is still, to this day, and I don't know how they achieved this, because the graphics are now, 30-something years old?
Yeah.
32 years old? Do I have that right?
Wow.
Is that possible? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
32
right.
Years old.
92, right? Something like 92.
Came out in 93.
Yeah.
The original graphics for Jurassic Park still hold up amazingly today. Like, they should study this. They should do a scientific study about what they did that got it so right. Because between 1993 and now, when graphics should have been getting better, I can show you like a million examples where it just did not work the same way. They just, I don't know, they were seamless in this movie. Something maybe with the way that they filmed it, or I don't know what it was.
Maybe our level of what it takes to impress us. Because you never, that first... That's a dinosaur on the screen.
Yeah, but I'm, and I don't know. Maybe I'm watching it through the eyes of nostalgia, and my kids are not seeing it the same way. Maybe they don't think it looks so real. But I see it. I'm taken right back to when I was 10.
You bet.
And that movie came out, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
So Jurassic Park has a new movie coming out. It's starring Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, who I didn't know who this actor was, but he was in Wicked, I guess. And also Mahershala Ali, who's great. He's in a bunch of great stuff.
Love that guy.
He's fantastic. Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm going to play you a little bit of the clip, and then we can decide whether or not this is going to be good.
For anyone who loves the original Jurassic films, this is the movie for you.
It's called Rebirth. It harkens back to the first film. It's a survival story.
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
When I read the script, it felt like a love letter to Spielberg. I've always wanted to shoot on film. I really wanted Jurassic World Rebirth to have that naturalist cinematic quality.
The original Jurassic asked that brilliant question of just because we can, should we?
What the hell are those?
It's an epic action-adventure story, and there's some new type.
I got to stop it here. I got to be honest with you. I'm not interested in this.
Really?
Are you interested in it?
I watched the trailer. I'm like, okay, I'm in. Scarlett Johansson can act, and she's not just, a very beautiful actress. She's an action hero.
She's fine. She's fine.
Fine. She's fine.
I'm a happily married man, so I can't comment on that. But she's traditionally a very attractive woman.
What was she in the Marvel universe? Black Widow.
Black Widow. Yeah.
Right?
Black
and
Widow.
she that worked.
Yeah. A lot of sequels in that as well.
Yeah, they beat that one around.
The problem that I have is, as they're talking here, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to recapture the nostalgia of the original film.
Yeah,
they even say that right there.
Yeah,
we're trying to recapture the nostalgia of the original film. But they're still playing in the exact same sandbox, and I just don't know unless they figure out.
They are.
If they don't figure out a new way to reinvent what we're seeing and give us something, you want something similar and different at the same time, which is a really high bar and a really tough thing to do.
It is.
Which is why sequels are so tough. So I'm not optimistic about this. Think of all these movies that Jurassic Park has made. This is the 7th of these massive movies. You have Jurassic Park, Lost World, 1997. Jurassic Park 3, 2001. Very forgettable. Jurassic World in 2015. They did a fair job of trying to reboot the franchise, but again, it's literally the exact same thing, only they just try to make it bigger. And they were already very big movies, so...
No, you're making great points here. And as I look at this trailer through that perspective of, they really are it's the same dance.
It feels like the same thing.
Yeah.
I just wish they had some different lane they could just shift into a tiny bit so that I could enjoy the story again without feeling like, well, is this just, am I being served the same meal, like cooked a different way? And it feels like the same thing. There's another film franchise that is releasing its 8th film, and I cannot even believe this is the 8th one. It's insane. Mission Impossible. I'm excited about this movie. I cannot wait to see this movie.
Music, man.
Isn't it so good?
It is. And I feel the same way about Mission Impossible movies that I feel about Bond movies.
Which is
it's that I don't care.
Are you tired of them, or
no,
do you like?
Not
you
at
like
all.
Them?
Not. I love them.
Can we take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, can we talk about why you love them so much?
Sure, you bet. Yeah,
because I feel the same way. And Tom Cruise is doing something. I think they set it apart because he does something really specific in these movies.
Okay.
That I think is a gift to the audience.
Oh.
And it keeps people coming back. And they have something in the new trailer that they just released. It's unbelievable.
Cool.
So we'll play you a little bit of it, then we'll talk about it. And we have a lot more. Stick around.
Sounds great.
We'll be right back.
The Closing Bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
KIRO Newsradio delivers the news you can trust.
State is facing a multi-billion-dollar deficit.
Government wants more of your money to build quote-unquote affordable housing.
We help you navigate the headlines, providing clarity and context to help you understand how today's events impact your life tomorrow.
The driver pulled out a gun. The officer opened fire, shooting at least one time.
The problem is worse in King County than any other part of the country.
Stay informed, stay connected with KIRO Newsradio.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up! Oscar!
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Hey, it's Dave Ross with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD from Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Dr. Wagner is hosting a free stem cell webinar Thursday, April 24th to explain stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
And remind us which joints you've had the best success with.
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, so if you're in pain, join him Thursday, April 24th for the free stem cell webinar and learn all about this amazing procedure. Register now at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Now that spring is here, treat yourself to a teriyaki salmon meal at Ivar's Seafood Bar. Ivar's starts with a grilled wild Alaskan salmon fillet, bastes it with a teriyaki glaze, and serves it with coconut pineapple rice and sesame ginger coleslaw. A meal for $15.99. And if you're in a sandwich mood, don't forget Ivar's Fish Sandwich, named the best fish sandwich in America by Eat This, Not That. Ivar's Fish Sandwich features wild Alaska true cod, coated in classic panko and topped with lettuce, tomato, and Ivar's favorite tartar sauce on a fresh King's Hawaiian bun. Stop at Ivar's and get the country's #1 best fish sandwich for only $13.99. Available in all Ivar's seafood bars from Marysville to Tacoma and throughout Seattle, but not in Ivar's Fish Bars nor the Salmon House, Pier 54, or Mukilteo Landing. For more information, go to ivers.com. That's ivers.com.
With Amazon Business, smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Charlie Harger here. When your hot turns to cold, you better think fast. Fast water heater. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST. That's 1-800-THINK-FAST or fastwaterheater.com.
You better think fast. Fast water heater.
This Easter, we invite you to share your egg-siding creations with us. Hartley Wilcox here. Submit your beautifully decorated Easter egg photos to our Wilcox Family Farms Facebook page and join the community in celebrating this joyous holiday. For over a century, our farm-fresh eggs have been a part of your cherished traditions. From our family to yours, we wish you a happy and colorful Easter filled with love, joy, and delicious Wilcox eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Welcome back to the show. Before the break, Spike and I were talking a little bit about some of these big blockbuster franchise films that are coming out. There's another one. There's a new Jurassic Park coming out called Jurassic World Rebirth, which we were both just discussing before the break. And then we got into the latest and I guess final installment in the Tom Cruise Mission Impossible franchise that's going to be coming out.
Excuse me, is that a spoiler?
That's the final?
Did you say final?
Well, no, because it's called, the final film is called The Final Reckoning.
Oh, okay.
And as far as I understand it...
Does he miss the wing this time when he jumps from the plane?
Well, this is I guess the creative team behind this is I guess their plan all along was to get it to this point and then it would end. And this is the 8th film, the 8th Mission Impossible,
that in itself is amazing.
What an accomplishment.
Yeah.
I mean, and you and I were talking earlier about how a lot of times sequels are just money grabs.
Yeah.
There's something about Mission Impossible, and maybe it is. It doesn't feel like just a money grab to me, though. It actually feels like they have come up with something else that they want to talk about, or it's like a Bond, which is different,
right?
Like you were saying.
Yeah, because this isn't just me beating the same rug to get more dust out of it.
Yeah.
This is a character that we know and love, and saving the day.
Yes.
And it's good versus evil. And this is the same thing with the Mission Impossible films.
Yep.
You know, this is a guy I want to see, and there's a host of new relevant issues that they bring Bond or Ethan Hunt into.
Ethan Hunt,
right?
Great.
I mean,
great
they literally, you talk about ripped from the headlines.
Yeah, it's great.
These studios make sure that these storylines stay relevant to stuff that concerns us in the real world every day in our real lives. And here's a guy like Ethan Hunt or James Bond who steps in, and there's going to be somebody that saves the day for us.
Well, we hope. We hope there's somebody. So I hope that the Mission Impossible
That's why I love these, and that's why I never get tired of these.
I never get tired of them either. I love them. They're such a massive spectacle.
That's the other thing.
Let me play you a little bit of the new trailer. This is Tom Cruise hanging off of the bi-wing of the plane, of like a bi-wing plane,
right?
And the plane flips upside down. He's hanging there. The cool thing is he does all of his own stunts. At least that's like the big sales pitch that they always have. It's like Tom Cruise doing some crazy stunt. And you look at this guy, you're like, he's not a young man anymore.
But he is a freak of nature.
But he's a freak of nature.
Yeah.
He does his stuff. And he gets hurt on the last couple movies ago. I think it was on Fallout. He broke his ankle. You remember that?
I've seen that video,
buildings?
from building to building and didn't stick the landing, and his leg literally goes sideways.
I think they even used some of that footage in the real film.
In the film, yeah.
It's so anyway.
He comes hobbling off. Did you get that? Because I might need some time off.
Yeah, I need a couple minutes, maybe an ibuprofen. This is him on the stunt plane. This is unbelievable.
You can't imagine how physically punishing it was for Tom to be on the wing. The wind distorts your vision. It's almost impossible to breathe.
It's just him hanging on his plane. It's almost Mission Impossible to breathe. This movie looks so cool for so many reasons. I'm so excited about this. My wife just couldn't be less interested in these movies. These are ones that she's like, yeah, go ahead and watch it on your own. Like we have certain movies that I will just get excited about, or TV shows that I'm going to watch on my own, which I know means I'll actually get a chance to watch them quickly. So I don't mind that she's not into it. I love these movies. The original one came out in 1996. The second one was not great. The third one with J.J. Abrams was pretty good. He directed the third one. And then they get into this new kind of era with Christopher McQuarrie, who's the director and writer on these things now. Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Fallout, which is unbelievable. Dead Reckoning Part 1, which was the most recent one back in 23, and now Final Reckoning. The movies, what's cool about these movies is you're watching, just like James Bond, what I love watching is you're watching so much money on the screen. It is such a spectacle.
Yeah.
You're watching $250 million being spent. They're stretching $250 million. It's not like they're like just throwing money around with shots that are unnecessary. It's $250 million, and they're doing a really good job making these films. And Tom Cruise does his stunts, and he runs in every single movie. Like you see him run. He's a good runner.
Is it still the case? Because they haven't evolved to. They do some CGI. Right, they do some green screening.
I'm sure they must
do. They do. Of course they do. They can't build entire cities if they've been level.
Just for filming purposes, they're going to need some shots that they're not able to get.
Right, but for the most part, here's a guy that's literally jumping here, riding that, falling onto this, holding onto those.
Yeah,
I mean, falling out of an airplane and landing and catching something, and he's as safe as can be with harnesses and wiring and a parachute in most cases.
Oh, but
the guy does this stuff. And you know it when you watch the screen.
And I was trying to explain this to my wife why I get so excited about it. And he's a 62-year-old guy who's running. I mean, like this guy, he's a runner. I mean, this guy runs, and you watch him on screen. I mean, you watch any movie that Tom Cruise is in, doesn't matter what it is. I think he even runs in what's the movie he did with what's her face, and he's like a sports agent, Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire.
I'm pretty sure contractually he probably had to run in that.
Do you remember the movie made with what's her face, Edge of Tomorrow? Remember that one?
Oh, John, what's his face's wife? We should remember names.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Emily Blunt.
He's carrying this 70-pound steel exoskeleton, and they filmed in that. He's running around, and they're doing these running stunts, and in this, for me, Mission Impossible, Spike O'Neill, we're the same age, by the way, as Tom Cruise and I. Mission Impossible. Getting out of bed without an injury.
You could be him.
Pillow injury. Mission Impossible. Putting on socks.
Spike
Mission
O'Neill.
Impossible.
Putting on socks.
I've injured myself. I pulled a hammy putting a sock on. It's sad.
Yeah, it happens. As you get older, it just happens.
62, the guy's he's a freak of nature.
Freak of nature. But what's cool about him, too, I don't know that I love his personal life. I don't know much about his personal life because he doesn't want cameras around.
Yeah.
He's like an old-fashioned movie star.
Okay.
He he's in the movies. We see him in movies. And I think they learned, like, if you spend too much time jumping on couches, people just don't want to watch what you're putting out.
Protect the brand, Tom.
Totally. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And, like, he's involved with whatever.
Yeah.
I just kind of put that to the side,
That's
and
cool.
I like his movies.
I like movie stars.
Yeah, they're fun. Ryan Gosling's also the star of the new Star Wars film. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll have to get into that.
That's a whole nother segment.
That's a whole nother segment. All right, we got a lot more coming up. 2 o'clock. It's going to be a great hour. Lots to talk about. We got Friday favorites coming up next.
Yeah.
This was a good week of favorites.
It really was. Got fun stuff.
We're going back to space with the ladies. We will be right back.
Preseason AC sale is on now at Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. This month only, keep your home cool and your wallet comfortable with 15% off. Plus, free financing on all air conditioners, heat pumps, and ductless systems. Trust the team voted best in the Pacific Northwest and call Bob's today for your free estimate. Hurry, the discount reduces to 10% off in May. Call Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
At the Harnish Auto family, people matter isn't just a saying, it's how they do business. For over 40 years, their dealerships, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Volkswagen, Subaru of Puyallup, plus Chevrolet and Kia of Everett, have built a stellar reputation on trust, respect, and great deals. From supporting local charities to making sure every customer drives away happy, they're here for you. Stop by any of their dealerships or visit HarnishAutoFamily.com and find your next car today. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
From groceries to home prices, the cost of living in Washington state keeps going up. Now, Olympia politicians are proposing the largest tax increases in state history. Don't be fooled. If taxes go up, we'll all pay even more. Washington needs lower costs, not higher taxes. Tell the politicians no by visiting www.affordablewashington.org. Paid for by the people for an affordable Washington. Top 5 contributors are Washington Alliance for a Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Amazon.
She and Ursula agree to disagree.
When I think of Seattle, I think about a really thriving place.
I think it's going to be hard to overcome that perception of being unsafe.
Weekday mornings at 11:06 on KIRO News Radio.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision.
If you're over 50 and you've been diagnosed with a cataract, or your vision is changing as you're developing an early cataract, you could be a perfect candidate for K2 Vision RLE.
It's inevitable. At some point, typically in your 60s or 70s, you'll have a dysfunctional lens that eventually becomes a cataract. To restore your vision, you will someday need a procedure such as refractive lens exchange.
The question is, are you done with glasses? Do you want to spend your good, active years hassling with changing prescriptions and needing readers?
K2 Vision RLE can give you great vision now, permanently, and you'll never develop that cataract. The procedure is quick and painless, and our state-of-the-art custom lens technologies give highly predictable outcomes.
K2 Vision surgeons have performed nearly 100,000 procedures. We know when RLE is right for you.
Find out. Schedule a free Zoom consultation at k2visionrle.com.
K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Senator Chris Van Hollen is back in the U.S. after traveling to El Salvador to meet with a man mistakenly deported there.
He said he felt very sad
about being in a prison because he had not committed any crimes.
Van Hollen said he was initially blocked by police from traveling to the notorious prison where Abrego Garcia was being held, but that meeting later happened, and Van Hollen learned Abrego Garcia had been moved to a different prison.
But he said despite the better conditions, he still has no access to any news from the outside world and no ability to communicate with anybody in the outside world. His conversation with me was the first communication he'd had with anybody outside of prison since he was abducted.
Earlier, President Trump was asked about Van Hollen's visit.
No, look, he's a fake. I know him. I know them all. They're all fake. And they have no interest in that prisoner. That prisoner's record is unbelievably bad.
Trump also said he agreed with his Secretary of State that there needs to be some movement on ending the war in Ukraine soon.
If for some reason one of the two parties makes it very difficult, we're just going to say you're foolish, you're fools, you're horrible people, and we're going to just take a pass, but hopefully we won't have to do that.
A website Americans once went to for information on COVID vaccines and tests is a different site these days, as Linda Kenyon reports.
The COVID.gov website shows a photo of President Trump walking between letters that spell out lab leak. Under the White House heading, it declares the COVID pandemic originated with a leak from a research lab in Wuhan, China. It also accuses Dr. Anthony Fauci of pushing a preferred narrative that COVID originated in nature. Government websites are often overhauled with each administration, but this makeover makes assertions about the origins of COVID that still have not been proven. A 2023 intelligence analysis said there's insufficient evidence to prove either theory. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The alleged gunman in the Florida State University shooting remains hospitalized.
The suspect continues to receive treatment at one of our local hospitals. He did receive significant injuries in this event and will require a significant amount of time in that facility.
But Tallahassee Police Chief Lawrence Revel says once he is released, he'll be moved to a detention center where he will face charges of first-degree murder. 2 people died in yesterday's shooting. This is CBS News.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at Progressive.com.
Coming up, a new arrest in a fatal shooting at a house party in Des Moines. But first, we go to the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. This report is brought to you by D.R. Horton. We start up in Everett on southbound I-5 just past 529. Collision blocks the left lane right now, southbound backed up to the Outlet Mall, northbound backed up to Highway 2. Marysville to Everett is a 25-minute trip. Everett to Marysville now 20 minutes. Ongoing road work has you backed up on Highway 18 eastbound. This is approaching Tiger Mountain over to I-90. Westbound 18 also backed up from I-90 to Deep Creek. Looking at about a 2-mile backup there. On a sunny day like this, it is busy at the ferry terminals. A 1-hour wait for vehicles at the Edmonds Ferry Terminal. Back on the roads, Lynwood to Seattle taking you 43 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia, 1 hour with some slowdowns past JBLM. D.R. Horton National Red Tag Savings event is going on now through April 20th. Visit a D.R. Horton community today or drhorton.com. America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. A second teenager is under arrest in connection with a deadly shooting at a house party in Des Moines last month. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports police took the teen into custody last night.
After an extensive undercover operation, Pierce County deputies and a SWAT team took the 18-year-old man into custody around 10 p.m. Deputy Carly Capetto tells us how it went down.
This suspect had not been identified until we were able to gather more evidence and review surveillance cameras and to gather enough information that we had a suspect that was outstanding.
2 young people were killed in that shooting. 4 others were injured. A 17-year-old suspect has already been charged with double murder. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Middle school wrestling coach in Auburn is accused of convincing a student to send him explicit photos and videos of the girl. Daniel Lee is 64. His alleged victim is just 14. Auburn police spokesman Colby Crossley says investigators fear there could be more victims.
Obviously, this is a very traumatizing experience, and it could be very hard to come forward. But if you have any incident involving this person, please come forward and tell us so that we can help you.
Lee coached at Olympic Middle School, where he is no longer employed. He faces 4 felony counts. A woman's body that washed ashore between Nia Bay and CQ is believed to be one of 3 people whose boat capsized on Wednesday. Coast Guard has now suspended the search for 2 boaters who are still missing. The Seahawks might not be done adding quarterbacks. They already have 4 QBs, but General Manager John Schneider tells 710 Seattle Sports.
It doesn't preclude us from doing anything in the draft either, and figuring out what's going on there.
First round of the NFL Draft will take place next Thursday. The Hawks have the 18th overall pick, plus 4 more in the top 100. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. All sunshine today. Picture perfect out there. Temperatures reaching the low 70s today. A bit of a cool down for the weekend with some scattered showers. Right now, 67 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. A lot of stuff to get to in this hour. This is a Friday favorite segment. We look back on the week and we decide what stories tickled our fancy. And we each highlight one of those stories, and we can laugh about it, or we can cry about it if it made you cry, whatever you want to do. You can text us with your favorites. Let us know, 888-973-5476. Laura, why don't you start us off? What story jumped out at you and stuck with you?
Yeah. This is the first time I've ever liked AI from a story that we've done.
Okay.
So I felt like it was worth highlighting.
I know where you're going, and I agree with you.
You know where I'm going with this?
Yep,
yeah.
Absolutely.
So we played a little game on, what was it, Tuesday, Wednesday?
I think it was Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah. And just in case you want to go back and listen to this on
And
a
you should.
podcast, and you should, because it was so funny. We had Spike guess whether he compared 2 country songs. Which one is a real country song and which one was written by AI?
Mm-hmm.
And it was hilarious. Spike got it wrong. And I just wanted to
Thanks.
play.
That's what was
AI is really, really good. And the frightening thing about this is, do you have both songs? Are you going to play both of them? Or
I just have the one.
You just have the one. That's
I think
fine.
you've got the other one, right?
I have the other one somewhere,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. We'll just play the AI one.
I'd rather just play the AI one.
What's
it was
so-
the better of the 2, in my opinion.
It's really good, and it's obviously it's all stereotypical country music type stuff. It's
Well-
not what country music's really about, but it mentions a lot of.
Contraire.
We should have this discussion.
Okay.
Because I love country music.
Yeah.
It mentions a lot of stuff that's in country music songs, but just because it says the words, it doesn't necessarily capture the spirit or
that's fair.
the intention of what some of these songs are. And country music, I feel, is really, really good. And probably because I'm a fan, you guys might not have the same reaction. I'm sure whatever genre you listen to, you probably get that reaction too. It pulls the emotions out of you because it does speak to something deeper. But this
spoke to something deeper for me.
But this is a hilarious country music song. I think it's really good. All right.
God made guns, God made beer. One's for drinking, one's for deer. God made Jesus, he made fishing. He made me an honest Christian. God made bump stock ammunition, country gravy and fried chicken. God made tires that keep turning. God made fire that keeps burning. God made country women sexy. God made country life the best. And God made whiskey, F-150s, long dirt roads that take me home. Cowboy boots and camo koozies so my beer can stay ice cold. NASCAR racing monster trucks.
So
horses,
great.
cows, and hogs and ducks.
I thought the song was perfect.
Turn up one second.
I know it's cliche and stereotypical.
It's great.
It's passionate.
It's really good.
It's perfect.
It's a really almost too perfect song.
I worried for the future of country music.
No, I don't think.
Why do you need humans anymore?
Here's what I don't think. I don't think it's going to compete with like the raw emotion that you get from somebody who's actually singing from a real experience across any genre. It's not going to be able to do that with rock music. It's not going to be able to do that with rap. It's not going to be able to do that with country music. Can it mimic these things really, really, really well? Yes. Like that's a very good surface level country song.
Yeah.
If I had written that song, and I'm not a songwriter, but if I was a songwriter, if I was a lyricist, I would be so proud of that song.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Not at all.
And the way that like his run where it goes from F-150 into the country roads to take me home, just very, very good. I like it a lot. Pretty good. But you should go back on Wednesday and watch the video of Spike guessing which of those two songs. And I don't know what time that was on, I think that might have been 1:30. Is that possible? 12:30? We can figure it out. But go back and watch it. It's in the Wednesday YouTube recap of the show. Check it out.
Yeah.
All right, Spike, what was the story that jumped out at you this week?
Well, I have to credit Fox 13 News for bringing this story to our attention. It's a story of a home break-in in the Puyallup area.
It's wild.
And we hear far too many stories of home break-ins, but what set this one apart was the fact that two things. First off, that the victim in this attempted home break-in was a 20-year veteran of the home security industry.
Mm-hmm.
So these crooks picked, the worst possible target for a home break-in.
Yeah.
This guy and we've got the audio of the homeowner.
It's like Taken. Like you just picked the wrong guy.
You picked I have a special set of skills. I have 19 different cameras. I can record you in 17 different dimensions. You're in the cloud, your face. But what really caught my attention was the criminals, they called the police on themselves. Like that was a stay out of jail free card.
It was strange.
Yeah, I don't know how much of the story that the audio we have will tell, but these crooks claimed that the victim, the targeted victim, had something of theirs in his garage.
Mm-hmm.
So they were going to go in and get it.
They kicked him off the property. I have video of them driving away and the police leaving. And then literally 10 minutes after that, they're back in camera view. And you can see all four of them walking through the yard and then asking each other really stupid questions.
Do you have any bolt cutters? Let's run to LA.
And they actually ended up coming back with a double-sided axe and then broke the lock.
Was that the first clip, Laura? Was that the one that you just played, the first one in this
I played the second one.
The second one, okay. He also says here, we have some other
criminal?
audio. Yeah, it says
my favorite clip.
The criminal is this the last clip here? The criminal is spooked. Let's hear this one.
Calling the police on yourselves for a crime that you're about to commit, regardless of why they were here or what they thought, you can't go breaking into people's stuff.
Oh, here's the one that you want to play. This is the criminals spotting one of the security cameras.
Yeah.
And again, when you listen to these guys, they don't sound like hardened career criminals.
Well, that's a great point. That's a great point.
And if they are, then they've picked the wrong profession. But they're like, should we get rid of the camera? Bro.
Should we move the camera up? Oh, bro. Yeah. It hasn't already saw us.
Obviously all the video's stored in the cloud.
Yeah, not only did that camera see them, it caught them in 4K and was recording all of their voices.
And then he released it to the media.
As we look directly into the camera and ask, should we move the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, bro. They seem like they're totally surprised. Do you think that these guys, so they went in there, they claimed to the police that they were, they thought that he had something of theirs in his garage.
Right.
So they felt like it's our right to go back and get it back.
That was the justification. And we're going to call the cops just to make sure we're on solid ground here as we break into some guy's garage. But there's another element to the story that blew my mind. As the story wraps up and the police came and chased them away from the property, saying, you can't break into somebody's place because you claim that you think he has something of yours in his garage.
Mm-hmm.
And they come back 10 minutes later with the axe and try to bust the lock off the thing. The end of the story, it says, police are looking for the suspects.
Still don't know who they are.
If I'm a cop, and no knock on the Puyallup Police Department, I'm sure, but I think any law enforcement community, if you show up because criminals called you and said, we're about to break into this garage, isn't the first thing you do is collect information and IDs about who these four liberators of stolen goods are?
Yeah.
How are you looking for who these guys are after the fact that you had just talked to them and made them leave the property? How do you not know who they are?
Yeah, it's a very suspicious, very, very suspicious circumstance that the police find themselves in. They're not being called by the homeowner. They're being called by people who are
we're gonna break into this garage and get our stuff back.
Yeah, and you can't do that. Like, there's obviously something here that's going on. It's weird.
Yeah.
Have you ever found yourself in a situation where somebody has taken something from you that you've gone and getting it back? Like, not taken style. You didn't go and kneecap anybody to get your kids back, but maybe a piece of property or a lawnmower or something.
Go reclaim your stuff.
Go reclaim it.
I don't know that I ever have.
This happened to me in college. I had a cell phone, like way back in the day when cell phones were when they didn't have Find My iPhone apps.
Yeah.
This was when people were still using like Nikon phones, and I think this might have been like an early flip phone or something.
And you had to go and get your stolen phone back?
Well, my phone was stolen. I knew where I left it, so I knew that it was in like the common area of my dorm. It got left on the couch. I was very good friends with the RA, so I was like, "Hey, I think it was right here." And I was like, and there was people in that area. And there was like a really kind of like suspicious looking group of folks.
Okay.
That were like the drug kids on the floor.
Okay.
That I knew probably stole it, and so I was like, I think they took it, and I would like to get it back from them. And so we confirmed this by going to the room and knocking on the door. And I said, "Hey, did you steal my phone? I need it back." And they were like, "No, we didn't steal your phone." And they like just peeked the door out,
Sure.
Just a tiny crack. And at that same moment, because I knew this would be their answer, I told my RA friend, and we had called the campus police as well. We were smart. We called the campus cops. And so we get the campus cops there. They're all standing outside the door, and these guys are like, "It's illegal. It's search and seizure. You can't come in here."
They were all of a sudden, they watched a lot of Law and Order. They know their rights.
Bong. They knew what to do. And so I was like, "No, I really do think you have my phone in there." And they're like, "No, we don't have your phone." Now, I knew that they did have my phone because we call it right then.
Yeah. I know it's going. It's great.
So I have my RA call the phone, and he calls it, and it goes, boop, 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 whatever my stupid ring was at the time.
In the room.
And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my phone." And the guy goes, "Well, what if we did have your phone here?" I'm like, "Well, I want it back." And so they had to, the campus police were there. They had to give the phone back. They should have silenced it. That's what I would have done. Yeah.
Good thing they were stoners.
But this was back in the day when, do you remember you could purchase ringtones?
Yeah.
They were buying all these ringtones. And so I could go see my bill was increasing by the minute because they're ordering all these stupid ringtones. And they were like 99 cents a piece.
Yeah.
And they'd gotten hundreds of these things.
Oh, my God.
It was kind of a nightmare at the time. Looking back, it's kind of stupid and funny. Whatever. We got the phone back. All right.
But before we pick yours, if anybody who wants to, I've told the story years ago how I got my daughter's stolen phone.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. If you have a stolen story.
That's okay. I've told it 100 times. If you want to hear about it, we'll talk at a later date. But I used the Where's My iPhone app to find my phone and go back and get it at midnight on a Sunday night. Yeah.
Tell me.
Okay. Well, my daughter calls me. My phone's got stolen. And I'm like, well, I'll call the police. Tell them that that the phone
is
stolen.
At college?
This is on Capitol Hill. My daughter calls me back from a friend's phone. They don't care. They won't come. They don't have the manpower. I said, okay, that's enough. And it's like 10 o'clock on a Sunday night. I'm at home. Get ready for the morning show. So I look on my phone. Where's my iPhone app? And I can see my daughter's phone moving up Capitol Hill. I said, call the cops back. Tell them it's walking up Capitol Hill right now. She called back. They won't do anything. I'm like, okay, fine. So I get on my Harley Davidson.
Nice.
At 11 o'clock on a Sunday, and I put all the leathers on. You ever see Raising Arizona? That's who I look like.
That's fantastic.
That warthog from hell. I take an ice axe and put it on the back of my jacket and go.
Are you joking?
I'm not joking. And you know what ice axe is, right? Long, got a spear on one handle and an axe on the other side. I go to Capitol Hill. The phone has stopped moving. I park my bike. I see a tent set up on the parking lot of St. Mark's Church, or the backfield of St. Mark's Church on Capitol Hill. And I see the tent out there. So I call the phone, I do the ping, where's my iPhone? And I hear that's boop, 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 boop. I hear that sonar coming from inside the tent. And I get my daughter's phone back. I walk up to the side.
Did you ice axe your way through that tent?
No, I walked up to the side of the tent. There's a light from the church that floods the field with light. Yeah. So I position myself like in the shadow, was on the side of the tent like a 12-foot grizzly with the axe. I want my phone back! And nothing. And I can hear it pinging. So I go to look in the top opening screen, top of that pop-up tent.
Sure.
And there's nobody in the tent but one backpack. So I look around behind me, carefully survey the scene, make sure nobody's coming up behind me.
Yeah.
Unzip the tent, pull out the backpack, very carefully unzip the backpack because I'm worried about pokey things at this point.
Absolutely.
Homeless guys.
Yeah.
Find the phone, put it in my pocket, go to my Harley, cruise down to the bar my daughter is sitting at with her friends, walk in like, put the phone on the bar. Don't lose your phone anymore. I'm tired of paying for phones.
He's got a particular set of skills.
And I got on my bike and went back home.
Did you leave the ice axe or you brought it home?
No, I brought it home.
You brought it home.
Shoved it down the back of my spine there between my shoulder blades, got back on the Harley and rolled home.
Let me ask you a question about that.
Sure.
How badass did you feel?
I felt like the biggest man on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And my daughter's young, bar age friends were like, wow.
Your dad is so cool. Yeah.
All leathers.
Coming in leathers.
Midnight on a Sunday night, Harley parked out front.
You look like a Walking Dead character.
It was
You're
awesome.
like Daryl.
It was awesome.
With an ice axe?
Yeah.
That's sweet. I'd like to see a picture of that.
Oh.
That's good for you.
Thanks.
That's fantastic. That's much better than me like going to my RA and
That's
crying. You got my phone. They ordered extra ringtones. Help me get my phone back. Good for you. God bless you. No, it's a much manlier, cooler story.
Next time, drive a Harley up to that dorm room door, right?
On my moped. You got my phone.
What I need to remember is I could have said anything. I could have made up anything. I could have said something manly and cool. Like I tricked them into giving the phone back, or like something that showed my acumen and skill.
And it rang right behind them, busting their lies.
No. I went to my building RA, who was a girl. I turned to a girl to go get my phone back.
Hey now, don't beat so hard on yourself.
Jeez Louise.
All's well that ends well.
Speaking of girls, all-female space flight. Everybody's very excited about it. Blue Origin. This was the biggest news story of the week. Weirdly, this is like the thing that everybody was talking about.
It was a moment in history, clearly. Yeah.
I think it was the spacesuits that got everybody so excited. They were kind of they leaned into kind of like the feminine, sexier spacesuits.
I love the all-female passengers because I won't call them a crew. They didn't have to do anything but watch and look out the window.
Sure.
But that was exciting, and the fact that we can do there and back again space travel so cavalierly
That's
now,
the
so
more
casually
exciting
now.
part.
Yeah. This is a great moment in scientific evolution. Yeah.
You know what? Actually, this is a missed opportunity because I know that, but it feels very much like what it was. So maybe they'll reveal that it was. Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos are engaged to be married, correct?
Yeah. This summer.
This could have been the first bachelorette party in space.
Oh.
If they had been smart about it. Yep. And they had said like, "Hey, let's go in there," and they could have gotten some ironic, like sexy cakes or something. They could have brought it up there, and they
some kind of space mimosa or something.
Something,
right?
Yeah, or like they all come down. They've all got like Mardi Gras beads on. Like
she's got a bride sash.
Exactly.
Right.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And then we would have. And then I think appropriately people would have looked at this for what it was, which was this was supposed to be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Which is why they didn't do anything. They just sit in their seats, and I think they threw stuffed animals around up there.
Sure.
But it could have been.
Katy Perry sang "What a Wonderful World."
Did she really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Do you think this is coming back to bite Katy Perry in the butt a little bit?
A little bit. I think so. A little bit.
I think people are kind of. There's a shot of her in the space capsule or whatever it is, and she's holding a daisy in front of the camera, and I think people are just kind of like, all right. Like there's a lot of eye rolling that happened from Earth.
That's her daughter's name, right? Daisy. That's what that was about.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's kind of.
Now I feel kind of bad.
I was
but
more
not that bad. I don't feel that bad about it.
No, don't feel too bad about it.
No,
it was very. But it was them kissing the ground when they came back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
not like the floods receded and all the animals walked off those capsule 2 by 2 and kissed the ground.
No, this is Gayle King leaving Blue Origin and getting down and kissing.
I'm never leaving the planet again.
Kissing the Earth.
I just have to have a moment with the ground. Let me just appreciate the ground for just a second.
Thank you, sweet Earth.
Thank you, Jesus. Oh my God. That was amazing. It was amazing.
I'm so proud. So proud of you.
Woo. Exciting. But don't criticize them and say it was what is this? Is not all female? Is this when Gayle King says it's sexist to say that they're not a space crew? Is that what this is?
Is that what she said?
Okay. Yeah, listen to this.
What do you think when people say, oh, it's frivolous? Number one, they call it a ride, which I find very irritating because they never say men went for a ride. What do you say to people who think that this was frivolous or just a ride?
I think that they're completely correct. That's what I think.
I think the message that it sends is very, very powerful. And the people that say that, by the way, weren't there. But go ahead.
I wish they could have seen the face of Zofia. I don't know if you got a chance to meet her, but she's a 6-year-old who we hosted. And to say she was excited is an understatement. And I asked her, okay, you've now gotten a chance to see a launch. What do you want to do? And she's like, I want to go to space, and I want to help protect Earth.
Great.
Super.
Great.
If guys didn't push any buttons, I wouldn't call them a crew either. And Sophia's impressed when half the cookies we left for Santa are eaten. Oh.
There you go. That's
I'm
exactly
a
the
monster.
right answer. That's exactly the right answer.
Come on.
That's the world
You impressed
I
a
want to live in.
6-year-old.
Nope, you're totally right.
Boom.
Don't feel bad about it. All right, we got a lot more coming up. We're going to talk to Chris Sullivan next. Sound Transit.
Sound Transit.
You can now buy merch. Everybody's clamoring for Sound Transit merch. We'll tell you about it next. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens.
KIRO News Radio, your home for the John Curley Show. Weekdays from 3 to 7 p.m.
The economy is like a machine. You have two levers. You can push the lever forward, you can make money cheap, and then people buy and they invest. Then the economy really starts cooking. Well, it starts cooking so much inflation can come in there as well. You pull that lever back, and now you increase the cost to borrow, which slows the economy down, and it just basically puts the brakes on everything.
Streaming live on your smart speaker.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
It's John Curley for Window Nation. You know, April is a great time to spruce up around the house, especially during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale going on now. You could pay nothing up until 2027, and they'll include a free entry door, too. Why do I trust Window Nation? Because they partner with Milgard in Tacoma to build top-quality windows to their highest standards, and they back them with a lifetime warranty. Hurry, sale ends soon, so don't wait to schedule your estimate at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Hey, it's Dave Ross with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD from Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Dr. Wagner is hosting a free stem cell webinar Thursday, April 24th to explain stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
And remind us which joints you've had the best success with.
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, so if you're in pain, join him Thursday, April 24th for the free stem cell webinar and learn all about this amazing procedure. Register now at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
People matter isn't just a saying at Harnish Auto Family. It's how they do business. For over 40 years, they've built a stellar reputation on trust, respect, and great deals. Visit harnishautofamily.com to find your next car. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
I've always been a super athletic guy, but after I turned 40, I noticed I was slowing down. Instead of hitting the gym after work, I spent my evenings on the couch with a bag of chips. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and when I did try to work out, I ran out of energy right away. One of my buddies suggested I book a free testosterone check at Revive Health. And that's when I learned that low T doesn't just impact how guys perform in the bedroom. I worked with a provider to create my custom treatment plan, and today I'm feeling stronger than ever. Last week, I even set a new PR at the gym. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
Swim your way to a healthier you with an endless pool swim spa from Olympic Hot Tub. During our spring savings event, save up to $9,000 on an endless pools package, free Bluetooth music, and more. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Charlie Harder here. When your hot turns to cold, you better think fast. Fast water heater. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST. That's 1-800-THINK-FAST or fastwaterheater.com.
You better think fast. Fast water heater.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. A University of Washington graduate student may now have his visa reinstated. Federal judge issued the order after ICE terminated the student's status due to a pending DUI case 2 years ago. More from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Chief Judge David Estudio said the government failed to follow its own regulations when they terminated the UW students' records from a federal database that tracks all student visas. Without those records, the Chinese grad student named John Doe in court documents would lose his visa status, ending his doctoral studies. Attorneys for the government argued ICE agents can make edits to their database whenever they want. The judge said while that's true for violent crimes, it's not true for misdemeanors. The judge's order means John Doe now has 14 days to make his case or possibly be detained by ICE. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
That U.S. Supreme Court hearing on birthright citizenship next month isn't really about birthright. CBS legal analyst Carolyn Polisi says the Trump administration is asking justices to limit the ability of lower courts to block the president's orders.
We've heard a lot about this issue of so-called universal injunctions by district courts throughout the country that have paused some of these more controversial executive orders from taking effect.
A federal judge in Seattle has blocked that order on birthrights after Washington's attorney general sued. Pierce County deputies take more than 300 grams of fentanyl-laced methamphetamine off the streets. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch tells us deputies had to wake up the suspect to arrest him.
Deputies were called to the AM/PM at the corner of 176th Street East and Canyon Road. They found a couple passed out with illicit drugs in plain view. Deputies were forced to break the window to make an arrest.
You're under arrest.
Pierce County Deputy Carly Capetto.
This guy was carrying large amounts of methamphetamine that was not for individual use.
The man was arrested for assaulting deputies, possession of a controlled substance, and he had a federal warrant for firearms offenses. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A person who traveled through SeaTac Airport last week may have exposed others to the measles. Public health doctors say the Canadian resident was at the airport while infectious on Sunday night, April 6th, and again on Monday morning, April 7th. Individual also stayed the night at the Comfort Suites that's next to Family Fun Center in Tukwila. Takes us to 2:33, and we go now to the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. Support brought to you by Pro Sculpt. And we start on I-5 southbound just north of South 272nd Street, where a disabled vehicle now blocking the right lane. We're all clear in Des Moines on I-5 southbound at SR 516. That's where a disabled vehicle was blocking the left lane. Still got some decent backups, though, from Seattle to Federal Way. That's taking you 50 minutes now. Elevated travel times pretty much across the map. It is getting busy out there on this Friday. Seattle to Federal Way, again, 50 minutes, a 1-hour drive from Renton to Puyallup. Looking at a 1-hour drive also from Seattle to Everett. Bellevue to Everett also taking you 1 hour. And an ongoing road work has you backed up on Highway 18 eastbound approaching Tiger Mountain, the summit over to I-90. Westbound 18 also backed up from I-90 to Deep Creek. Pro Sculpt is the one-day permanent fat loss and skin tightening solution for men and women, offered by New Skin Med Spa in Bellevue. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Couldn't have asked for a better Friday. Right now, sunny skies and upper 60s across the map. We'll be topping out in the low 70s today. Tomorrow we drop back down into the mid-50s. Right now, 67 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. I'm very excited to get this guy on anytime we can, but he's a Friday buddy. You always end up on the show on Friday. I think it's just because we're just feeling good. Chris Sullivan joins us now. Welcome to the show, Chris.
No, thank you. It's good to be here. I'm kind of a palate cleanser. Mm-hmm. You know, it's Friday. We want to relax. It's a beautiful day. It's Easter weekend. You
Gorgeous.
Know, so
happy Good Friday,
happy to be
by
here.
the way.
Good Friday, yep.
Thank you.
So to all who celebrate, it's a great weekend. So
the reason you're on today is because yesterday we found out that Sound Transit has a new website that they want people to go and browse, and also, if hopefully browsing turns to buying. Tell us about this website. What is this?
Sound Transit, after a long, long wait and much demand, is now offering its own merchandise store.
I'm sorry. My earphones aren't working. I thought he said merchandise store.
Merchandise, yes. Anything Sound Transit. You want shirts, you want hats, you want water bottles, you need bandanas, you need pet collars. You can get them with
uniforms for the employees we're talking about?
No, this is just like you'd go to Disneyland and you would buy Mickey Mouse merch. You can now go online and buy Sound Transit merch. Some that are happy and like today we're opening the Redmond line. So here's a T-shirt that celebrates the Redmond line. I'm going to make a lot of fun of this over the next couple of minutes. There are a couple things that are kind of cool. I mean, if you're a train kind of person, like you're into, they do have like New York City has like the outline of of what the lines are.
Yeah, we have one from London for the tube.
I can kind of see that, but do you need
we
a
have
hat
enough
with a
train
number?
lines, or is it just like one route?
It's one straight line.
Well, it's got one going across the lake. I mean, I'm not sure if you could buy that shirt now because it could be kind of a collector's item.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's hope not. But yeah, I mean, hats with a number 2 for the 2 line, because of course everyone calls the East Side line the 2 line.
The 2.
Right?
Are people that fired up about?
No, I don't know. Okay, so
there's a whole community.
Oh my gosh, I immediately reached out to Sound Transit, and first of all, I was like, this isn't a joke, right?
Did I miss April Fool's?
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm like, secondly, are you guys hurting for money this badly that now you're having to sell merch to try to make up for the budget shortfalls? And who in the hell is asking for this? So those were kind of the questions I went to Sound Transit with. And they got back to me and they're like, it's because of overwhelming demand.
Baloney.
They say from their passengers and customers.
That's the same thing they said about the trains, and we know that's not true.
But that's what they did. I was like, really? They're like, other places, BART, New York City, they all have their merch, and people love to wear the merch. And I'm like, really?
Have you ever in your life, honestly, answer me this question? You guys have ridden BART, you've ridden the subway in New York.
Yeah, both. Yep.
Have you ever actually seen somebody wearing merch from BART or a New York subway system?
No, never.
I haven't.
I have seen the maps.
Well, no, I've seen like Mind the Gap swag from London.
I can see that.
Right?
Okay, well
but that's an iconic, different kind of thing from the tube and
yeah.
With a much longer
that's the only
history
thing I can think of
this.
I mean, but we have a coffee mug with the New York subway map on it.
Okay, well
that's
see.
touristy.
But yeah,
but are they pitching to locals or tourists?
I know they say it's because of overwhelming demand locally.
All those people that come in from out of town to ride the tube
and the monorail.
Yeah, So I mean,
okay, the monorail actually is a thing that I think you could sell merch for. They probably already do.
And you could show old-timey pictures of the World's Fair,
right?
The Seattle Center original. Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
that makes sense. But this brand new train that's like drastic, are these going to be realistic depictions? Is it going to be like this line is actually not running today? Or is it going to be just like showing you what the cost originally was?
Smiling pictures of trains. In fact, the $10 sticker set has a train with a missing tooth in front, like it's like a child that's lost its tooth.
Okay.
They're
going to try to Thomas the Tank this thing?
kind of their sticker thing. Their tote bags. They even have iPod holders and things like that.
iPod holders? What year is it?
I don't know. You know what I mean? I meant for the ear pad. Sorry, the earpod. The earpod. Sorry, the headphones.
iPod.
I don't know those.
They're also offering a special Zune holder.
Yeah, but and so
for your BlackBerry.
And the best part of this is, in addition to a couple of the just some T-shirts and things, they actually have like a really cool, like a button down and a matching pair of shorts, which at first look like boxers. The shorts look like boxers. They're basically just a drawstring kind of short with pockets.
It's not underpants.
No, but they look like it. But it's all covered with little tiny boxes of like a picture of a regular train, a picture of a bus, a picture of. So they're all little tiny images of this, and they have a matching button-down shirt to go with it too, so that if you wore them together, they'd look kind of like you were wearing a onesie, like the drunk guys do at the golf tournament in Phoenix.
Is this for children?
No, these are for
no.
But they do sell a onesie for children. They do. As I said, they sell pet collars. You can go to mynorthwest.com and find the link to this if you want to buy them. However, I would recommend waiting a little while because I went through their sizing is way off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I went and looked at the shorts we were just talking about. An extra large waist is like 16 inches. I'm like, I think.
Are these made in China?
I don't know.
Because there's sometimes the translation.
I was like, I think they might have just not had everything ready to go on some of I was like, that's got to be a mistake.
Can I say that's actually really perfect for Sound Transit, that they're getting it that wrong.
A little bit.
That's on brand for them.
Yeah.
So I think that's right.
I guess you're right.
Also, whatever they say is going to be the cost, I imagine they'll come back later and be like, hey, these shorts which were supposed to be $32.
Oh my gosh,
these are actually going to be $95.
They triple over budget. And they won't be able you can order today, but they won't be around for 3 years.
Yeah, maybe 8. And if you're buying them in Everett, you won't get there till 2049.
2035.
Do they have a big foam bus hat?
No, I'm sure this has just started. They could probably do that if you'd like. Maybe one of their big double deckers
with a novelty hat, right?
That would be something. Yeah. So
I actually, if I'm being completely honest, because I'm not a person who rides a lot of public transit, I at least can appreciate that they're trying to make it a little bit fun.
That's very true. Yeah.
They're trying, even though they're probably going to miss the mark. And I cannot imagine in life I ever see somebody wearing one of these things outside of maybe you as a joke, Chris.
No, he's a believer.
I still think
I just may outfit Nate Connors and myself with these, and that'll become our new traffic department outfit.
That would be great.
But I'd want a captain's hat or something like that. But no, and what's interesting about this is because I asked him, I go, for an agency that is this out of money and is struggling so much, I'm like, okay, how is this going to work? It's an online store only, so they'll probably only make things as orders come
it's
in.
Like a drop shipping
it's not like we're going to
go.
They spent $150,000 on number 2 hats.
No,
and they're waiting to sell them, and so they can lose money there on storage. But no, they'll probably build them or make them to order.
The thing that's a shame is you're never going to get a number of how many people ordered these things. Wouldn't that be actually fun to find out? Like in the first 5 years.
You know what? I will ask. I'll go. Yeah, I have a good relationship with the people at Sound Transit who handle their communications. I'm sure they'd love to tell us, even if it was one. I mean, and it was Dow Constantine who bought his own hat.
Yeah.
I also want to know if this is something he spearheaded or something they've been working on. But it feels kind of interesting.
This feels like a Dow initiative, actually.
No, it's a marketing, obviously.
Correct.
Is it intended to be a moneymaker?
No, not at all.
I tell you, they could make this into a true moneymaker. On the back of every shirt, print the words, "Hey, lowlife, buy a ticket this time." On the back of every shirt.
Or how about Fair Ambassador
right,
on the back of every one?
That'd be great.
This ain't free.
Yeah, I paid it with an Orca card.
Yeah.
But no,
how about you?
But yeah, so it'd be interesting. No, it's not a moneymaker. They're doing it just to provide merch for the people they say want it.
It's marketing.
And if they make a couple of bucks, great.
Things Sound Transit.
They do have a lot going on this year. I mean, Redmond's going to open soon, so you'll be able to go from Bellevue to Redmond. And later this year, getting across the lake, and they might have some merchandise specifically for getting across the lake that isn't up and available now.
How about a Dow Constantine bobblehead?
Oh,
and at the bottom it says, "When will it start?" And you just hit the head. I don't know.
I make $37,000 a month.
And at the same time, it shakes money out of our pockets. The person who owns the bobblehead, it just like
somehow just
$20 when I
sucked up by his bobblehead.
But yeah, go to mynorthwest.com. Check it out. Who knows? You might find something interesting. You might find it ironic. But I'm not sure I'm spending $35 on a shirt.
Or
from Sound
an
Transit.
XL that's only a 16-inch waist.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? That would be a good incentive for me to lose a lot of weight.
Yeah. All right, Chris Sullivan, always tons of fun to have you in. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Anytime.
Have a great weekend, buddy.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. We got your text messages next. Stick around. We'll be right back.
I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
It may be the most noble profession.
Come on.
It's the work of heroes.
Heroes?
You want to live without plumbing?
Well, no.
Then you need plumbers.
Right.
Thing is, so do I.
You need plumbers.
Smiles, actually.
Smiling plumbers?
Or someone who smiles and wants to become an Apollo plumber.
A smile. That's what it takes?
Skills are something we can teach.
Sure.
But a positive attitude comes from within.
That's a big part of being an Apollo plumber.
The biggest part.
What else?
A desire to learn and serve.
Just like every Apollo plumber.
As they learn, so shall they earn.
Earn?
Apollo plumbers can earn 6 figures.
Enough to make me smile.
We believe you get what you give.
Give a smile.
And Apollo service.
Get a smile.
A well-paid smile.
Driving one of those big blue Apollo trucks.
That's the goal.
Does seem pretty noble.
It's important, satisfying work.
And you're looking now?
There's always room for another smile around here.
On the Apollo Plumbing team.
Apply at apolloplumbing.com.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. with daily use.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
At Kia of Everett, we make the process of buying your new Kia as exciting as driving it home. The best drive you'll ever take is to Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
From groceries to home prices, the cost of living in Washington state keeps going up. Now, Olympia politicians are proposing the largest tax increases in state history. Don't be fooled. If taxes go up, we'll all pay even more. Washington needs lower costs, not higher taxes. Tell the politicians no by visiting www.affordablewashington.org. Paid for by the people for an affordable Washington. Top 5 contributors are Washington Alliance for a Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Amazon.
Welcome back to the show. All right, end of the show. We get to read your text messages. Thank you guys so much for participating. We had a ton of fun. Also, thank you guys for watching the live YouTube page. Every single episode of the show will now be available in its entirety on the Jake and Spike YouTube page. You can just go in there. You can click. You can send this to your friends and say they had a hilarious segment about this or that.
And just tell them to check out Jake's shirt.
Yeah, stupid shirt. You're right. Absolutely.
I love your shirt, man.
Thank you, Spike, for bringing that up again. Sure. All right, we got text messages, so let's get to them. Laura, fire away.
On Good Friday and Easter Sunday, Stonewall Gaston from the YouTube chat says, I'm having an all-you-can-eat Peeps competition on Sunday.
Nice.
Oh, God.
Very good.
Good luck.
Do you like Peeps at all?
I hate Peeps.
Does anyone like Peeps?
Kids love Peeps.
Why do they love Peeps?
Because it's sugar.
Sugar and marshmallow, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Nick in Paulsbo says, eggs and the Easter Bunny come from pagan spring ideologies. That's good to know. I guess I can never make the connection.
From Nick. There you go. Thank you, Nick. On losing the Sonics, Jason Buckley says, I thought Key Arena wasn't going to be up to NBA standards. I'll tell you this. I worked at the Key Arena for many years.
Yeah.
Key Arena was actually a very good venue for professional basketball. People came there and said, this is a great venue. It may not have been the best TV venue, but from a playing standpoint and an audience standpoint, it was very, very, very good.
I remember when they rebuilt the Key. And Commissioner Stern of the NBA at the time was on TV raving about the sightlines, the fan experience at Key Arena.
Yeah.
And then within 5 years, it wasn't good enough to keep an NBA team.
These are all twisted histories because they want to
establish franchise free agency at our city's expense. And by the way, Climate Pledge is a whole different beast.
Well, when you have
the venue that
second
lost the Sonics.
richest man in the world come in and make it work. Yeah.
And Commissioner Silver of the NBA said that the fact that the NHL is here and successful is another feather in our cap for expansion of the NBA.
I'm hoping it happens.
253 says that segment on Jake's career as a Sonics ball boy was hilarious. I laughed harder than I have in a long time. Have a great weekend. You go back and listen to that. That was a bizarre first hour.
Can we make that into? Can we cut that up into a small little thing so that people can, see Spike's hilarious in that segment? Check it out.
On the subject of sperm racing.
Yes, please.
Doug in Mount Vernon says, will there be a fantasy league and handicapping of the race? I guess if some of the sperm keep losing, that man might not be marriage material.
Also, you have to worry about performance-enhancing drugs.
After the race, could you fill this one up too? Thanks for. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, gross. What a bizarre world we live in. Robin and Graham says, sperm racing, isn't there a song in a Monty Python movie that goes like, every sperm is sacred, every sperm is great? That could be their theme song during the race.
There is that song.
On Egg Sloot, coming to Seattle.
Thank you, Laura.
Edgar in the 206 says, we have an egg hole in Kent.
Is that real? They have an egg
hole? I Googled it. It's real.
It's a real restaurant? I don't know that I would name my restaurant anything whole.
Yeah, that doesn't... okay, and 206 says, good sandwiches at the Honey Hole on Capitol Hill. Are we getting punked? Is that real?
That's real.
That's
I've had their sandwiches. Those are great.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, though. If I had to pick one of those two restaurants, I'd probably go to the Honey Hole. Wouldn't you?
Okay, I'd go to Egg Sloot, which is... Stephanie never says...
Everybody goes to
Egg Sloot is my favorite spot in L.A. So good.
All right, well... If Stephanie likes it, I'll give it a try. On that bald eagle that caused a traffic jam, I think, was that in Puyallup? Was that what that was at?
Yeah, Puyallup.
Jesse B says, I recently learned that eagles will land and just chill after eating something large. They just hang out and digest. It happened in our backyard. They could be grounded for hours after consuming something like a deer. So he probably just had a good meal and he needed a warm place to land. I wouldn't recommend the middle of a road.
Right. Well, but when you're an eagle, traffic moves around you.
Do you know, that's true. You're right.
There were no consequences in that scenario.
Real fast, did you know that's why honeybees get really docile after they get smoke in their, like smoke, when smoke comes in?
They use smoke to calm bees and beehives, yeah.
What they're doing is they want to immediately move the honey, because you know the bee is honey is regurgitated from the bee. So the bees will eat up the honey really fast. I had a apiarist on the show, on my night show, when I was doing that show. They will eat the honey really quickly as a protection mechanism, so they don't lose all of that valuable product, and they get so filled up and done with all the sugar that they get really docile. Isn't that amazing?
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's how it works. All right, last one, Spike.
On Jason Rance's encounter with a homeless man on public transit, Jamie in Seattle says, I'm glad I missed lunch with this story, and I agree with Jason.
Yes, that was a gross story. Yeah. Check it out on the podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in. We hope you have a wonderful Easter weekend, however you celebrate it, and we will see you back here on Monday. Bye-bye.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone.